I constantly also dream that I'm crossing the center line, and then at the last second I, correct. And
you ever dream you're naked?
No, I don't think so. Maybe one time, and I dreamed that I was like trying to run in syrup. Have you ever had those dreams where you're trying to run and you're not getting anywhere?
No.
Oh, it's awful.
No, I dream that I'll be sitting in a crowd, and I'll look down and I realize I have no clothes on.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And I think to myself, dang freaking gummit.
I did it again.
How can I forget to put clothes on? And then I just
think I have had that dream, actually, because I remember that feeling.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, no.
So anyway.
Yeah, I've never said the N-word.
Well, I would appreciate you could cease saying it if you have.
I will try to stop cussing so much.
People of color don't care for that word.
Well, yeah, unless you're another person of color.
Yeah, well, no, if you were a brother or sister,
yeah, it'd be okay.
We could do it all we wanted.
Right.
Yeah, we could sing a song about it.
Right.
Yeah.
They do.
We could sing the N-word.
Yes. But no, it's not acceptable.
You're not allowed to say it
that.
if you're pale skinned.
Well, and I get my kids in trouble for saying bad words, so I'm not allowed to say it either.
Yeah.
For the time being, at least.
But it was so funny because I was so mad at myself. Why did I get personal? I have no self-control. It was my problem. And then I'm thinking, well, she was saying the N-word.
So that's like a dream where, if I dream that my husband talked to another woman and was flirting or something, and I wake up and I'm mad at him for doing it.
No,
except you're mad at yourself.
Yeah, because I don't want to get personal on the air with people. I just don't think it's that when you're debating people, which is what we do for a living.
Yes.
It is much more effective if you win on the merits of your argument as opposed to turning. That's what the left does all the time. I think we should have smaller government. Well, you hate poor people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the left does all the time. We should seal our borders. You hate Hispanics. And I don't want to ever employ that tactic.
Okay.
Because it's not persuasive. It doesn't work. And it's not like when I used to say, you're so, you have no hope and you're so negative.
Yeah.
All you can say is, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And it's a dead debate.
That's true.
The debate literally comes to a crashing halt.
Yes.
And it's the easy way out.
Yeah.
When you begin to accuse people and try to assign motives to people, you have given up your debate. And that's why talk radio on the left never works, because that's all the left does, is they accuse. They don't argue on facts and merit. You're a homophobe, you're a racist, you're a Islamophobe, you're a shill of big oil. That's all the arguments they ever present.
And the argument ends then.
That's it.
What do you say to that?
You say, no, I'm not.
Right.
And they say, yes, you are.
And then you're like a 3-year-old.
No,
right.
So if you want to listen to 3 hours of no, I'm not, yes, you are.
Right.
Nobody wants that.
Well, and I can tell that you're trying to work on that, and I've got some things to work on too, and so that's why I keep coming back.
Well, it's not
because I know we'll work through it.
It's not that I'm, it's not. I just don't think it's effective.
Yeah.
I just don't think it works in persuading people and having people seeing what's real and what's true.
Well, yeah, and a lot of times I'll go back home and I'll think about something and say, yeah, I was right about this, but I was definitely wrong about that.
Yeah, when you watch the...
Yeah, if I watch back or I think back to what was said, because it is true. A lot of times I can't remember what I said.
Oh, is that? Oh, you talk.
Yeah, I'll go home and I'll be like, what did I? What
have
did
you
they
noticed
talk
how
about?
that sometimes you'll misquote yourself?
Oh, yeah.
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 You do too. I've noticed that too.
Absolutely. Sure I do. 569-1080, 569-1080. Dan Fagan, Glen, Biegel, Bonnie Cameron on KOAN, KVNT. Glen off today. He'll be back on Monday. 6:14 is the time. Back on Monday. 6:14 is the time.
Sit there, give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
The highway, a strip of asphalt to carry you between points A and B. But in an all-new 2015 Mercedes-Benz GLA, there is no point B. Because when you're driving a GLA from Mercedes-Benz, you're not concerned with the destination, only the adventure. With off-road transmission mode and a sleek design, this SUV performs with confident style on any terrain. And no matter where your adventure takes you, the all-new GLA's sporty, expressive styling fits in, yet stands out, complementing the many sides of you. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer today and see the world differently in a GLA 250 4MATIC, starting at $33,300.
MSRP for a 2015 GLA 250 4MATIC excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details.
Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
Mark your calendars. It's time for the 15th annual Guns and Hoses charity hockey game, where Anchorage Fire and Police face off against Alaska's military at the Sullivan Arena. Cheer on Alaska's finest. Sunday, December 7th. There will be tons of fun for the whole family. Free pony rides and face painting. Visit with Santa and see the holiday fire truck. Say hi to Star the reindeer. Shoot to win a new car. The puck drops at 4. Come on down to the Sullivan Arena. Sunday, December 7th at 4. And cheer on your favorite team.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number.
Call 877-319-MY-TV.
The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So cancel the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money.
Call 877-319-MY-TV.
At just $24.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card.
Call 877-319-MY-TV. That's 877-319-MY-TV.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
All right, welcome back. 617. Dan Fagan here with Bonnie Cameron. Glen Biegel's off this morning. We're broadcasting to you on KOAN, KVNT. Also streaming live video and audio on danfagan.us. Danfagan.us. That's how you can get us there. We are glad that you were here this morning. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. So you got some sad news this morning, huh?
Oh, yeah. You know, Facebook, it's so drama-filled.
A woman leaving her family?
Well, it's, an old friend, and it's just hard news. It's hard to swallow. But, yep.
Young kids?
Yes. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, you want to be there for people. But it's just tragic. It's sad.
She made the decision?
Yes.
How long have you been married?
20 years, maybe? 19.
Wow. Seems like the hard part had been over.
I know.
You know?
I mean, the first 2 years of marriage for me was the worst. It was really hard to live with somebody who knew how to press your buttons and knew what got to you, knew how to make you mad, and then be able to deal with that. I was basically an only child growing up. My brother and
that
sister,
explains a lot.
yeah, my brother and sister were 11, 12 years older than me, so they were
Okay.
practically gone by the time I was, 6,
Now I
7,
get-
8 years old.
Now I get what's going
That
on here.
explains it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but so my parents pretty much, catered to me. I
Yeah,
guess I could
yeah.
say that.
Obviously.
And so when I got married, it's like you have to figure out how to argue with someone and how to get your way. And then, how to love them and how to, keep the love going. And
Right.
it took a lot of learning how to argue.
Okay.
So when my niece got married a couple years ago, I wrote her as a present. I wrote her all these, little quotes and things that I've learned over 17 years.
Right.
Of course, back then it was 15. But anyway, it was just things I've learned. And I can't remember them all now, but I should probably go back and read that for myself every few months or so.
Okay.
But
Because-
don't you think that it's, I mean, marriage is hard. People don't realize how
The 12 minutes I was
difficult.
married, it was bliss. I really enjoyed being married. I honestly, I loved it. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, it's hard.
Really?
People, 17, 18-year-olds who are thinking about getting married, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I love it. But it takes a lot of work. And there's a lot of sacrifice involved.
I
It's
think
not all
sometimes,
about
though,
me.
it's better to get married really young because the older you get, the more stubborn and set in your ways.
That's what I hear. Yeah. I'm really glad I got married young.
Yeah.
I'm very
How old
thankful.
were you when you got married?
I was 19.
Yeah.
And we met when I was 18.
Right.
And we've worked through a lot, but I got a man of character.
Yeah,
and I
that
can't
helps.
say that for everybody.
No, that helps. That's huge.
So, he's but the older I get and the longer we're married, the more I appreciate him because
Yeah.
I'm really annoying.
Really? Really? Oh,
Well,
interesting.
yeah, no comment, Dan?
No,
Where's your comments here?
You're
Brian, help
annoying,
me out here.
I did not know that, as Johnny Carson used to say.
Well, I was voted class clown in high school, and I thought I was really cute and funny.
Yeah,
But the older you
I've tried
get-
to explain to you the difference between funny
Yes,
and being a clown.
you're
Clowns
right.
are not funny.
Right.
They're silly.
I just like to make people laugh.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to, I like to make people happy, but I typically don't. I mean, it's good to like something, but
You're so dry, though. You got such dry humor. You do. That I'm not really sure when you're serious and when you're
well, I don't like
joking.
sarcasm. I'm trying to get away from sarcasm. Because sarcasm is, it's just a nasty thing.
It is. I agree with that.
Words are so powerful.
Yes.
Words have such creative capabilities.
Hmm.
You can literally mold people with words. Once people
Yes.
trust you and they let you in their heart, and I'm not talking about husband and wife necessarily, but friend, coworker,
Children.
children, especially children. And if you employ sarcasm a lot, and all it is cowardly. People who are sarcastic are cowardly.
It's
And
easy.
I don't want to be harsh here and judgmental. It's just not that it's easy. It is easy. It's risk free. Like when someone really does well in life, or they do something that you're impressed with, you make yourself vulnerable to them when you praise them. So most people will not praise you outright. They will be sarcastic
Hmm.
because they're scared. Because they're so, afraid of being rejected.
Hmm.
And I just think sarcasm is so poisonous. I used to be the most sarcastic man alive. And the reason I know this is because I used to love Letterman. And he just, all he does is employ sarcasm. And now I watch him, it's like, it's not funny.
Yeah. I don't enjoy his humor.
Yeah.
But when we had the Matsu superintendent in here, Dina Paramo,
Yes.
and she talked about
Yes.
it's so key not to be sarcastic with
Right.
kids.
Yes.
That clicked with me
Yes.
so much, and it really
'Cause-
made a difference
'cause
in
they'll
how
be-
I talk to my kids.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, I notice now that.
Because they'll pick up that in
And
a
that's why I'm
heartbeat.
saying it's easy, because instead of parenting, you just be sarcastic, and
Yeah.
and there's no thought involved in that.
Right.
And so I have really, it is exhausting to try to really work through things and talk to your kids in a non-sarcastic way.
My dad, I don't think ever employed sarcasm ever once in his entire life.
Wow.
And, he was a guy who would praise you. It was
It's very
sincere.
thoughtful. He was very thoughtful. I'm
Well,
sure.
he just was very, he when my dad spoke into my life, it always made me feel better about myself.
That's good.
It was
always
never
good to be positive.
like my dad would never say something like, well, you fooled, like, hey, Dad, I got ratings. I have a friend he had a dad who was pretty rough on him, and he won. He was running for school president in his senior year, and he told his dad, guess what? I'm running for senior president today. And his dad said, well, you can fool some of the people some of the time. Hope you can fool enough today. That kind of stuff.
That can be damaging.
And my friend has told me for years that totally gutted him.
Oh,
But he's an 18-year-old kid running for or 17, But my dad would have never said, like, well, I don't know how they let you on TV. he would have never said anything like that.
Words are so powerful.
They are so powerful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he would say it's just amazing that you're on television and that how do you do that where you're so calm and you're so, he would just constantly, and it was real admiration.
Yes.
It was not that big a deal to me that I was on TV, but it was to him.
He was proud of you. Yeah.
He was proud of me. But he would never say anything like, oh, can't believe you fooled enough people to get that job or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He just, and I understand that that's just people they just don't want to open themselves up.
Well, and maybe that's how he was talked to as a child too. You can pass those things on.
No, his parents were like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were.
And that's kind of I don't know. That seemed like that was right now these days we're so filled with emotion and
right.
we parse our words so carefully.
Right.
And I think back then in older generations it was children should be seen not heard, so you didn't really take the time.
Yeah.
I think that was rare.
Well, like just earlier in this broadcast, you were talking about how you're difficult, and I was trying to be funny by going, really? That's surprising. That was sarcastic.
That's teasing, though.
No, but the bottom line is you are absolutely a joy to work with.
Oh.
No, it's very true. I mean, you're very pleasant. It's like Glen Biegel's wife says, listening to you on the radio, she can tell you're always smiling. Which, by the way, whoever put that picture of you in that flyer needs to be shot.
Okay, well, I okayed that. Did you know that?
No,
I did. I okayed that picture.
It looks like you look like you're about to shoot somebody in the face.
Dan's talking about the Valpak coupon.
Yeah, there's this coupon, and they put this. Did you see it, Brian?
Yes.
What did you think of that picture that used the Bonnie?
No comment.
Who chose that?
A lot of my friends are like, "You're always smiling. Why aren't you smiling in that picture?"
You look like a bitch.
Oh.
You do. And you're not.
I'm going to save that clip.
What? Who put that?
Mike Robbins, the owner of the station, asked me. He said, "Now there was one of you smiling, but I thought it looked weird." And he showed it to me, and he said, "I thought this one looked better." And so I said, "Sure, okay, I don't care."
Did you honestly think it looked better?
I don't really remember what the other one looked like, but.
You didn't look at that picture in horror?
No, because I thought, well, I kind of do look at them like that sometimes. Kind of like cynical and.
That was the worst picture ever.
Because the photographer said, look at them like you look at them or whatever. And so I just kind of did this cynical kind of
you look
listening
like
face.
This is what the picture says. Man, are Glenn and Dan dumbasses.
Oh no.
That's like, look at these fools.
Oh.
It's like it's like.
She might have been looking at the camera guy.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking at him, and he was no comment.
Yeah, I remember that day.
I do.
He was no comment. I remember.
I'm not
going to
go there.
I do remember that day.
So, yeah. Maybe I was a little annoyed.
He kept wanting to argue with me.
Yes, and that was pre-Prop 1 oil tax
I love it when these leftists, they come up to me, they want to argue with me, and I never engage them.
No, you didn't.
That's what I do for a living, so I'm not going to argue with you for free. If you want me to argue with you, you have to pay me. And so he kept, well, what about this? And I that's something. Well, what about that? Yeah. And he kept trying to goat me.
He was.
Yeah.
And he was saying it to everybody, and I wasn't doing it either.
He goaded me, though. I'm easy to goad.
Yeah.
So I went there, and so I was very annoyed by then. Maybe, I think you're right, Brian, because they were not sitting there in front of me. It was him.
Well, for those who see the Valpak picture of Bonnie looking like she's a hateful person.
I finally made the big time, and now look what happened.
She is not like that at all. She's very pleasant to be around. And 99% of the time, she has a big fat smile on her face.
Oh, dear.
569-1080. I guess you never want to use the word fat when you're talking about women. KOAN, KVNT, 569-1080.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give them a call. 569-1080. KOAN.
KOAN News. I'm Chuck White. Alaska's new AG says he will review issues related to the National Guard, which has been accused of allowing a culture of sexual assault. Craig Richards says he will ensure proper prosecutions were brought for wrongful behavior. Richards was appointed to the position by Governor Walker, who took office Monday. They previously worked together as law partners. Richards' appointment still needs the approval of the legislature. Outgoing U.S. Senator Mark Biegel is being talked about as a possible candidate for mayor of Anchorage. After losing his re-election bid last month, Biegel served as mayor of Anchorage previously. He has not announced a decision about any future campaigns. Conservation easement has protected more than 1,300 acres of land owned by Kluta Inc. Chukian. An agreement was signed recently between the Alaska Native Corporation and Great Land Trust. Wouldn't comment on how much the easement is worth. That's your Hot Talk News update.
Today will be partly sunny with a high 26, then a partly cloudy night, low of 18. Clouds increasing tomorrow, high 26, then a partly cloudy night tomorrow night with a low 21. The temperatures will rise through the 20s overnight. And for Sunday, it will be mostly cloudy. Chance for a bit of snow or flurries, a high 34. Rather cloudy Monday with a high 34. Hot Talk, breaking news and the latest weather. KOAN, 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
You know, after a hard day at work and then shopping for the holidays, the last thing you want to do is slave over a hot stove. Well, don't worry about it. Relief from this hectic time of year is just a jingle away. Call 333-8000 and ring in the holidays with the Sicily Season Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. So relax and let Sicily's deliver hot, fresh, delicious pizza, pasta, calzones, wings, and salads right to your door. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Call 333-8000 and ask for the Season's Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. For the only 24-hour-a-day delivery in Alaska, call 333-8000 or save 20% by ordering online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy holiday season.
So tell me, have you ever wondered where some people get those imaginative and most appropriate Christmas gifts? I've learned the secret. It's all about shopping the amazing selection of outstanding gifts from Bells. For instance, this week, all Bells' beautiful leather handbags are 25% off. They make a great gift for any female on your list. All women love the leather handbags at Bells. Another beautiful gift, the exquisite stemware and wine accessories are all 25% off this week. Plus, lots of other creative, unique bargains as well. And a word to the wise, the best Christmas trees are going fast in the Bells' warm, cozy greenhouses, so come get yours now so you don't miss out on the perfect tree. And you know what makes a great Christmas gift for those hard-to-buy-for folks? See's candy, of course. Chocolates are traditional at Christmas, but you want to be sure you give the best. And the best is See's fabulous chocolates, only available at Bells. Bring the kids to Bells for their Santa pictures Saturday at Specking from 11 to 5 and Sunday at Bells Cranberry Road from 11 to 4. Oh, Christmas is beautiful at Bells.
Trail Boss Solutions is your local award-winning, nationally recognized construction and remodel firm. From handyman services to kitchen design and remodel to custom home construction, Trail Boss Solutions has the experienced professionals to take your project from initial design through completion, on time and on budget. Trail Boss Solutions is the only call for all your construction, design, and remodel needs. Please visit us on the web at trailboss-solutions.com or contact Trail Boss Solutions Direct at 646-1403.
Local news, weather, and the Dan Fagan Glen Biegel Show on Hot Talk. KOAN. Brought to you by Connect Country Liquor. With 4 convenient locations in the Valley and Talkeetna, you won't find a better selection.
When I grew up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can go your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. From auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too. so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Do you remember that Beatles song? If the rain comes, they'll run and hide their heads. You know which one I'm talking about. Well, if that's you and you're inside your home or office, it's time to call Earhart Roofing. Call Earhart Roofing for all your roofing needs. Flat or pitched, large or small, Earhart Roofing will do the job quickly, and they'll do it right. Earhart Roofing, big enough to serve you and still small enough to care. Call 345-5555. That's 345-5555. Hot Talk KOAN, man.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
All right, welcome back. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron on KOAN, KDNT. Broadcasting on those stations. We're also on danfagan.us on video and audio, with video and audio. And our telephone number, if you'd like to join into the broadcast, 569-1080. If you're coming in from the valley, call us, 569-1080. How are the road conditions? How's traffic moving along? Anywhere, really, in earshot, we'd like to get some traffic reports, pass it on to the listeners. 569-1080 is the number, 569-1080. Glen Biegel's off today. He'll be back Monday. So you got some sad news. You got a couple married 20 years, 19 years. 3 kids, wife's leaving the husband.
Yes. It's still very raw.
Yeah.
When you receive news like that, it's
You just heard this morning.
Yes. Right for the show. I should probably not read things in the morning because it's kind of thrown me off. But I know these things happen. It's just that when they happen, sometimes I'm speechless. There's not very often I'm speechless, but in this instance, I am completely without speech.
Well, what did she say was the reason?
I don't want to go there.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Well,
yeah.
she's not in our audience or
She's
listening audience. So.
Not that. Yeah, she's not.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's hard. It's a harsh reality because she's leaving her kids too.
3 kids.
Yeah.
Found another man.
Yes.
You know, again, no one knows less about marriage. You know, I gotta stop saying that. I know some stuff.
Yeah.
That's another thing my dad used to say to me.
I think you probably learn.
Anytime I'd say something that would impress my dad, he'd say, "Boy, you know some stuff."
Oh.
He was just so he's an amazing
encouraging.
guy. He was so encouraging. But I think today's culture, men have to understand that keeping your wife is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that back in the 50s, when the wife was really not, for all practical purposes, welcome into the workplace and would have to stay home and raise the kids, and the man would be the breadwinner, she really didn't have a lot of options. And so because in the neighborhood, it was all women,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
You go through a middle-class neighborhood in the 50s, and it's just one house after another with women out in the garden, cooking for the kids, whatever.
The good old days.
The good old days. And frankly,
Oh, man. Send hate mail to me now.
Yeah. Well, but now, when women are forced into the workforce,
mm-hmm.
because the government takes so much of our money, we now need 2 and 3 incomes to support our families.
And they want to take our kids earlier and earlier.
And they want pre-K and kindergarten and all this.
Mm-hmm.
Women are injected into these environments where that if the man does not treat her well, someone will. Someone at the office will say, "Hey, your hair looks nice today."
And
that's a nice skirt, looks good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if the man hasn't said anything to her complimentary or noticed anything about her physically in 2 weeks, and yet Fred, two desks down, does, mm-hmm. all of a sudden Fred is going to become more appealing than the husband. And so it's incumbent upon men to really focus on, I have got to work at my marriage. I cannot take my wife for granted. She has too many options today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and words, like we were saying earlier, words are so powerful. And like you said, all it takes is...
Let me tell you something, men.
A few
Can I speak
statements.
to the men? I'm gonna, Brian, this is to you too, with your wife, if you get one, which you will. if you don't go ridiculously overboard praising your wife, you're absolutely missing out on it. I mean, ridiculously overboard. Even to the point where it's, okay, that's enough.
Like embarrassing.
Exactly.
Yes, I get that.
Do you get that at home?
Yes, I do.
And my dad used to do it with my mom when before he died. And, we'd sit down at the restaurant and he'd be, isn't your mother pretty?
Yes.
She's so beautiful. And, my mom would say, oh, Dan, and then it's like she she loved it.
And it gets to where I'm like, I'm not very good at that myself.
Accepting that praise?
No, not accepting it, giving it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, oh, gosh, I got to do the same thing. But that's not exactly his need. I'm reading love languages, actually, the 5 love languages.
Yeah.
And I'm not all the way through it yet. But, yeah, that's something I need to work on, actually. So women have to do their part, too.
Well, my thought for women is, and this is a really big deal for me, I have to know my significant other believes in me, has confidence in me.
Yes.
Trusts me.
Respect. Believes
that in the end I'll do the right thing. Is confident I'll make the right decision. Not a blind faith where, Dan's always going to do the right thing. But in the end, he'll come around and he'll do the right thing. And that's crucial to me. I have to know she respects me. And that's really all I think most men want. We want to fall in love with someone who thinks we're amazing. Mm-hmm. That's really all we want. Someone that we're attracted to physically that thinks we're amazing. Mm-hmm. Not a blind worship kind of thing.
But respect.
Or just amazing,
Yeah.
When a wife speaks about her husband as, my husband is just incredible. Like you did earlier today.
Yes.
My husband's a man of character. That does so much for a man. You wouldn't believe what that's.
Well, and you have to believe it, too. I mean, like I've said before, I've told the story before, but I had a hairdresser one time who we had been married the same amount of time. We had a lot of things in common, same amount of kids, ages, all that stuff. And, of course, like you talk with your hairdresser, you're there for a couple hours.
I don't talk to my hairdresser.
Okay, well, women will talk with their hairdressers.
70-year-old barber. He doesn't hear anything.
Oh, I think I know him.
Yeah. Ah!
Anyway, so she was sitting there, I was sitting there and she was doing my hair, and I was, I don't know, complaining, saying something about my husband, ashamedly, and she started praising her husband.
Oh, you were putting down your husband.
Yes, I was complaining something about my husband that day, and she just never said anything negative.
Yes.
She would constantly praise him.
Yes.
And I noticed that.
Yes.
And I said something to her about it. She said,
wow.
Well, I have to do it.
Yes.
I have to do those things in order. It helps my marriage for me to, think this about my husband, and it's deliberate.
Yes.
And so ever since then, it made that big of an impact on me. I don't think she wouldn't know that, but it did.
Oh, you should tell her.
I will.
Yeah. No, I've had male friends of mine complain about it, and I will stop them.
Mm-hmm.
I will stop them because it's just, you got no shot in a marriage.
Yes.
You're never gonna have a happy marriage if you complain to your friends about your spouse.
Right.
Just not gonna happen.
Yeah. And I've said to other friends, and it's one thing to say, I really need to talk to you about this, and I need your advice on this. My husband is doing this or that.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to put him down.
Right. No. There's a distinction.
There's
a distinction. I mean, I've had male friends of me say, my wife's really going through a hard time.
Right.
She's insecure. She's not feeling good about herself. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But, my wife is such a nag.
Yes.
My wife doesn't care about, that's a totally different realm. So, we'll get involved in discussions of struggles that spouses are having. And I will tell you one thing right now. If a female, woman of anyone of the female persuasion ever tries to go somewhere complaining about their husband to me, that shuts down immediately.
Yeah.
That is not something a man should ever be involved
in. No.
And a woman should never reach out to another man to complain about her husband.
Yeah, that could be very dangerous.
Very dangerous. 569-1080, 569-1080. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. Glen's off today. We'll be back.
and online at 1080. You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
.647 in the morning. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel's off today. Bonnie Cameron right over there. Our telephone number, 569-1080. 569-1080. We'd love to hear from you this morning on this Friday morning. Congratulations. You have made it to Friday, the 5th day of December, 2014. Again, our number, 569-1080. 569-1080. You know, to me, it all comes down to to words, what you say, what comes out of your mouth. Bonnie had learned this morning that a longtime family, 5 breaking up, wife found another man, 3 kids, she's abandoning them, going off, leaving the state with her new boyfriend. Power of words, man, power of the tongue.
Well, another problem is people together and close for such a long time begin to take each other for granted.
Yes.
And that goes with friends, too, and even family.
Yes.
So, you know, at a certain point, somebody's going to rebel from that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Very true. Every relationship takes work, Brian. If it's a coworker, if it's Milo at McDonald's drive-through, if I went 2 weeks without saying hi to Milo, he'd be upset.
Life is about relationships.
Life is about relationships, and in relationships, when you take them for granted, they will die. They're like plants.
So true. Even after starting this job, I found myself busy trying to do research for it, and then doing homeschooling also, and cooking for my family. I mean, just everyday life. I started losing contact with friends, and so I have to make an actual effort now. Whereas before we just call each other up or go see each other. Now I'm a little bit busier. I am going to have to make time for my friends and family, and so it became something that I have to really do. And
I think all of us suffer from guilt from not maintaining relationships with people like we would like to.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that I've known since I was out at school, and I'll go see them once every 2 years, or I'll call them 2-3 times a year, but these are really close friends of mine, but yet I don't feel like they're part of my life anymore. But what can you do? You know, they live in different towns. They're just not a part of your life anymore. You don't run into them.
But when you do talk to them, I'll bet it's like old times.
It really is.
You just pick up where you left off.
I think once you reach a level of friendship,
Mm-hmm.
even if you move away, live in different towns, that friendship will always maintain that level of intimacy, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Well, and I've teased my husband because, you know, he's from Arkansas. When we got married 17 years ago, we moved up here right away.
Right.
And he lost contact with a lot of his close friends. But when they get together, it's like there was no time in between.
Right.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's, you know, those are the true friendships when you can
Right.
pick up where you left off.
And, you know, there are friends who you know that they're just in your life for a season. You know, they're just, I have friends who you just know. It's just, you know, it's 2, 3, 4 years. Who knows? But and you can't get too worked up about it and try to beat yourself up over it too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree, relationships are what life's all about. It's not about achievements. It's not about material gain. It's not about prestige.
Mm-hmm.
All that doesn't matter. It's really about who's in your life and people you hang out with and people you enjoy being with and people enjoy being with you. And, you know, the old saying is, if you want more friends, be friendlier.
Oh, sure.
You know, I mean, sometimes people get in the position in life where they start to pull away. They start to isolate.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to mingle because it's risky.
Mm-hmm.
You take risk. There's rejection possible. And as you isolate and build yourself 4 walls around your heart and get on an island, so to speak, figuratively speaking, there's no risk. And you don't ever have to fear rejection.
So easy to do that.
Well, but the loneliness.
Yes.
And we're not built for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way we're built to. I mean, you know, just like we need food, nutrition, air, sun, we need relationships. It's part of our DNA.
We have feelings.
We are not made to go through life without relationships. That literally, you will die early. You will die early if you isolate yourself. I really believe that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part of as much as the sun, air we breathe, the food we eat. That's how we're built.
Well, you know, the experts, I don't know who these experts are, but the experts say that the more you laugh and the more you smile, the longer you live. So.
Oh, absolutely. And single people die earlier than married people.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely true.
Well, and I'm hoping, you know, I have this friend who's about to turn 100, and I'm hoping to get her on the show, at least on the phone.
We'd love to.
And have her share some of her wisdom and thoughts.
You know, that laughing thing is so important. Last night, I was thinking, should I go to bed? And this movie, Horrible Bosses. Did you see that, Brian, the first one?
Yes.
Did you see the second one?
No.
Okay. What did you think of the first one?
I thought it was funny. There was some funny premise in it.
I thought it was hilarious. I loved it. I just loved the Jason Bateman dry, straight guy versus the 2 idiot, you know, sidekicks. And I just thought it was well written. I thought it was a really good movie. I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll go see that tonight. Because I wanted to laugh. You know, I'm like, I need to laugh.
I'm in a laughing mood.
So I went on the Fandango.com, and the reviews were horrible. Oh, why did they ruin the first one? It was so good, the first one.
Oh, so they made a second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought, this is like, it sucks. But then these are the critics. These were not the moviegoers. These were the critics. So I thought, you know, I can't go to sleep. I'm going down to watch it. I'm telling you, at least a dozen times I had a gut out loud laugh.
I love those.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like gut out laugh. You know, you don't get those very often.
No.
I almost think it was better than the first.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Do not
See,
trust
I heard that on
reviews.
TV. That it's
You
better
did.
than the first. Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I'd have gone by those stupid critics at Fandango.com, I'd have never gone and seen it.
I check that a lot because I'll usually buy my tickets through there.
Yeah.
And I almost never pay attention to what the critics say.
Only to what the moviegoers say.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Wow.
Just well written. You know, I like movies that are well written.
Now, I heard the first one was a little bit...
It's raunchy.
Okay.
You don't want to bring your 5-year-old.
Yeah, the Jennifer Aniston role is probably the
and she was pretty bad
part
on
I
this
liked
one,
about
too.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did have that thought. If they'd have taken her out of that movie, I would have really been happy. And I'm not some kind of prude that says sex is bad and all that kind
No,
of stuff.
I just don't enjoy her as an actor.
Well,
honestly, I don't.
Well, it's just the whole crew. Why do you have to go there?
Well, she played the role of the sexually harassing boss.
Right, exactly.
But it's total opposite because it's this hot-looking lady boss, you know? And the guy's all, no.
Yeah, he's a little short guy who could never get a woman, you know. But anyway, it was just well written, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I laughed. I got my dozen laughs in.
Good.
I feel much better.
And they were not just little laughs; they were
gut laughs. Yeah,
that's awesome. I love those.
Yeah. But you never trust the critics.
No. There's been movies like that for me too, but I haven't been to the movies in a long time.
Really?
No.
569
They're too
1080.
expensive.
569 1080. Well, I'll tell you this.
Got a new DVD player.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah, no, I
Bonnie did.
90%.
I got that Blu-ray player.
90% of the movies I go to see, which aren't many, I absolutely can't stand and can't wait till they're over. You know, so it's rare for me to go see a movie.
So you're a critic.
Well, I just don't like bad writing and acting.
Yeah. Well, the DVDs do come out so quickly now after the movie was in the movie theaters. There's really no point to paying $10.
I don't have a hot buttered popcorn machine in my house, so.
Oh, okay.
If I had that, maybe I'd. I gotta have a good.
But I mean, you either pay $10 or more, or you pay $1.20 at Redbox.
Oh, is that where you buy the DVD?
Yeah.
Can you get the Bluetooth or not? What is
Blu-ray?
it? Blu-ray there at Redbox?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you can?
Yes. And now I have a Blu-ray player and I can play it on there.
I've never done that.
I pretty much just get mine off iTunes and watch it on the TV now.
Yeah, but it's still $5 to rent it.
No, it's like it's about $3.99 on iTunes.
Yeah, it depends, or I just buy them if I like it.
Yeah, that's true.
Why would you buy a movie?
I buy season passes for TV shows on
same here.
iTunes. Yeah.
So you can watch it over.
And I don't have to watch the commercials.
Do you watch movies over and over?
No.
I'll watch it a few times. I'll rewatch things later.
I don't. I can't stand it. I've said before, the only ones I watch over and over is like Anne of Green Gables and Steel Magnolias.
I wonder how Hollywood. That's got to be gutting into their profits if you're watching their movies that they're spending $100 million to make for $2. How's that working out for Hollywood?
I don't know. I think it's the same thing with the music industry because people used to have to buy the whole entire CD.
Absolutely.
And they put a couple good songs on, a 12-song album.
Right.
And now they can buy them individually on iTunes. I don't know. I think maybe more people are just.
Well, I think concerts are the way the music
That's true, and those have gone up.
But let's think about it now. If George Clooney makes a $100 million movie and he gets $25 million of it, and it used to be you'd have to go to the theater for 10 and then another 15 for popcorn and goodies, and now you're doing it for $2.90 or $1.99. That's really got to be cutting into Hollywood's bottom line, right?
Well, they've killed off all the blockbusters almost. They're shutting them down everywhere. Yeah, I mean, there's
the
still
blockbuster
some.
videos.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's just replacing that is all. It's
okay.
It's a new format.
Oh, that's true. The blockbusters used to be cheap.
Well, and I think more people are getting into the electronics and just downloading them, and maybe more people are doing
you
that.
can do it right through your TV now.
Right.
I read a story on technology review thing. 10 years from now, no more TV stations. That's what they predict.
Wow.
No more TV. 6:58. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Monty Cameron, KOAN, KVNT.
You go if you were the winner of the
the 1990s.
President Obama urging Congress to keep up the progress as Republicans who disagree with his long-term economic policies take full control next month. The unemployment rate was unchanged in November at 5.8%. The president's comments coming as he formally announced his choice of defense chief. Ashton Carter is a former deputy defense secretary who used to oversee the Pentagon budget.
With a record of service that has spanned more than 30 years as a public servant, as an advisor, as a scholar, Ash is rightly regarded as one of our nation's foremost national security leaders.
Carter says he accepted in part because of regard for the president's leadership and the strategic challenges the U.S. is facing.
But also the bright opportunities that exist for America if we can come together to grab hold of them.
Outgoing Defense Chief Chuck Hagel, who did not attend the announcement, has agreed to stay on until the Senate confirms a replacement. A milestone for NASA's new spacecraft, hitting peak altitude as its first test flight heads into the home stretch. Fox Radio's Evan Brown live in Miami.
And Lisa, Orion's spacecraft is now detached from its service module and is preparing to return to Earth, testing its landing systems.
The last 5 minutes before splashdown are all parachutes. Orion has 11 in all that it uses to slow down from about 300 miles per hour.
NASA commentator Brandy Dean. Orion earlier reached an orbit higher than 3,600 miles, the furthest away from any human-rated spacecraft has been since the Apollo days. Lisa?
Evan, thanks. You're listening to Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
This holiday season, a lot of jewelry stores are talking about value and quality. But talk is cheap. At Helzberg Diamonds, we actually show you what real value and quality mean. With our remarkable asset device, you can see for yourself how and why a diamond sparkles the way it does. Join us as we celebrate 100 years of love with exceptional quality and extraordinary value. Helzberg Diamonds, a Berkshire Hathaway company.
For all of you who are inspired to create your own unique holiday cards and gifts.
For all of you, there's Vistaprint.com. At Vistaprint.com, creating personalized holiday cards is simple. Choose from hundreds of designs and add your own photos and special messages. And there's 60% off. Plus, personalized one-of-a-kind gifts are also up to 60% off. It's our best deal of the season. But hurry, offer ends December 7th. The only way to get this incredible deal is to go to Vistaprint.com. Click the microphone in the upper right corner and enter code RADIO60. Vistaprint.com, code RADIO, the word 60.
You know, after a hard day at work and then shopping for the holidays, the last thing you want to do is slave over a hot stove. Well, don't worry about it. Relief from this hectic time of year is just a jingle away. Call 333-8000 and ring in the holidays with the Sicily Season Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. So relax and let Sicily's deliver hot, fresh, delicious pizza, pasta, calzones, wings, and salads right to your door. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Call 333-8000 and ask for the Season's Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. For the only 24-hour-a-day delivery in Alaska, call 333-8000 or save 20% by ordering online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy holiday season.
If you're ready for the movies, there's just one place to go. Check out moviesacre.com. It's showtime, movie times, previews, and more. Get tickets, friends, lots of information to explore. Take restaurants, how you'll know just where to go. Before and after every show, check out moviesacre.com. It's showtime.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can go your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist with Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
6 minutes past 7 o'clock here on a Friday, the 5th of December. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron on KOAN, KVNT, streaming on danfagan.us. Give us a call, 569-1080. 569-1080. Glen's off today. Bonnie, you went to the Americans for Prosperity dinner last night.
Yes, Stephen Moore he's been a journalist for the Wall Street Journal before, and he's on Fox News quite often.
He's an economist, right?
Yes, he's brilliant, and I went there thinking I probably wasn't going to agree with him on everything, and I left there amazed that I can't think of anything I disagreed with him on. And I know that Glen will have so much more to say
Glen was there also?
Yes, about the talk, but I thought I'd just talk about some of the things that stuck out in my mind that he said. He talked about Alaska and how important we are to the rest of the United States in regards to oil production and gas. He said that we've got to get this place opened up for resource development. He talked about how in New York, I thought it was so funny because he talked about in New York how they shut, the environmentalists pretty much shut it down for any kind of
the state
drilling.
Of New York?
Yes.
Yeah.
And in this portion of New York where they badly need jobs, but the environmentalists have shut it down.
Yep.
And he talked about how they went to Pennsylvania and drilled down and then over into under
Right.
New York,
Right.
because they have that capability now.
Sure.
And so I thought that was really kind of funny and a sign of the times.
Our friend Amanda Coyne was there last night, huh? Did you see her?
I didn't see her there.
Okay, well, she wrote about it this morning. I don't know if
good.
she was there, but
Did she talk about it positively?
for the most part, she didn't like his dig at Obamacare, but
Oh, of
the
course.
thing that I thought was really noteworthy is Dan Sullivan attacking the owner state. Dan Sullivan, the mayor.
Yes, he gave a speech. I was gone for some of it, so I don't remember all of that. But it was a really good talk. And he also talked about the right to work. He said, "Is Alaska?" Stephen Moore said, "Is Alaska a right to work state?"
Right.
And Dan Sullivan sitting there, and all of us were like, "No." And he said, "What?"
Yeah.
He was astounded
We're gonna
that
get
we
that
are
when
not.
Dan Sullivan becomes governor.
I think this is so off topic, but I think
Yeah.
it'd be so funny if Dan Sullivan ran for Senate against Lisa.
Yeah.
Then we'd have two Dan Sullivans
Oh, that's true.
as our senator.
Well, Dan Sullivan, if obviously with Bill Walker, you're never going to get rid of right to work, but
Right.
I think Mr. Sullivan will become the next governor, and he will get us right to work, which will revolutionize the state.
Right.
But go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say also, too, that the Stephen Moore said, this was so funny, that he said we'd still be in a recession if it weren't for all the oil and gas jobs.
Yeah.
So here Obama takes credit
I know.
for, all the economy getting better when really it's because of the things he's against.
Despite him.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Sullivan, this is what Amanda Coyne wrote about when Dan Sullivan got up to speak. He said he also suggested that it might be time for a state constitutional convention in order to reevaluate this concept of the owner state, which he said might lead to the state selling off plots of land to private ownerships and create a boom. He pointed out that only 1% of Alaska land was privately owned. It's socialism or communism or some sort of ism, he said. And it's very politically incorrect to kind of go against our founding fathers and Wally Hickel is very beloved, and Jay Haden and all these guys. But I do believe the owner state is a form of communism. I believe it's just the worst thing we have. The reason that the Dakotas are booming is because there's private land. People can drill on their land. And when the state runs everything, you get people like Bill Walker in there who, they go to war with the oil industry, or people like Sarah Palin, and then we end up missing out on all this investment because of the so-called owner state.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend of mine, she's very well-meaning, and she was actually she had a lot of influence on me personally in my personal life, and I looked up to her a lot. And she was a huge owner state fan, and she wanted me to read Crisis in the Commons, Wally Hickle's book, 3 or 4 times, and I read it, and it really is. It's collectivism. It's the complete opposite of individualism. Mm-hmm. And what Wally Hickle, Malcolm Roberts, Meade Treadwell, Bill Walker, all these guys who embrace the owner state concept, they're all well-meaning, but I don't believe in it. I don't believe it's the best way to go.
And that says that the state of Alaska is that's when Bill Walker talks 51%.
Well,
is that what that means?
The owner state, and I've talked to Wally Hickle about it several times, personally on my show, asking him about it. But the basic concept of the owner state is we own everything collectively,
mm-hmm.
which is really, how's that different than communism?
And then he says it talks about maximum benefit.
Well, that's just
for Alaskans.
But that's what communism says,
right?
The
greater good.
The greater good,
mm-hmm.
exactly. So make sacrifices for the greater good. It's communism.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work. It never has.
I'm not understanding how any of their ideologies go hand in hand with conservatism. I don't see it.
Well, I don't really like the word conservatism anymore because I don't even know what that means.
But lower taxes.
I like free market.
Get government out of the way. Free market.
Yeah, free market is much. I like freedom, free market. Conservatism, you look at a Rand Paul conservatism, and it's like, let's isolate and retreat. You look at a Ted Cruz conservatism, it's completely different. You look at a John Boehner conservative, it's let's grow government. You just never know. So it's almost
I understand. That's why there's a distinction now between Republicans and conservatives. Republicans don't usually call themselves conservatives.
But there's even divisions within the conservative movement.
Yes.
I just like the word. All right, look, it's just free people up, or does it control people?
Mm-hmm.
If it frees them up, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my kind of the way I'm looking at policy now. Does it give people more opportunity, or does it restrict opportunity? Okay, let's go with give more opportunity. That's kind of the way I look at policy now. Because conservatism, I just don't know what it means anymore.
Right.
I mean, Eddie Burke's a conservative.
Yes.
And he's just voted for the most left-wing governor we'll probably end up ever having, other than Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
And he supported Sarah Palin, who is the most left-wing governor we've ever had. So, where do you
draw the line? I know.
Well, it's not where you draw the line. It's just the words mean nothing anymore.
Yeah. Well, and what I thought was so weird the other day was when I was listening to Eddie, and he was talking about how he's pro-Pebble, but yet the guy he voted for is not. That's a huge thing. That mining is huge right now, and we need to be open to it instead of not even, shutting it down before it's even got a plan. And that's something that should be discussed.
Well, I like Dan Sullivan's call for a constitutional convention to get rid of the owner
He got
state.
a lot of applause at that.
Well, I know Alice Rogoff's a huge owner state person, and it would be tough. It'd be a tough battle because it's entrenched in Alaska's mentality that the owner state is a good thing. It's not a good thing,
mm-hmm.
and it's held us back in many ways. 569-1080, 569-1080. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, KOAN, KVNT. Time currently 7:14.
Sit there, give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN. Never know how. This holiday season, you are Gift Ninja. Because Napa has 5 quarts of Valvoline conventional oil and a Napa silver filter for just $21.99. First, mail in the rebate to get an extra $7 off. Then wrap those babies individually. Boom, 6 gifts in one, just $21.99. Gift Ninja strikes again. Conquer the job with Napa know-how. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 12/31/14.
I am holding up here, right in front of the microphone so you can see it, an enormous Golden King crab leg. See how big this is? I do this so you can see that New Sagaya and City Market are featuring big Golden King crab clusters, legs and claws only, special this weekend, just $16.95 a pound. Incredible in crab salads or just steamed and served right with melted butter. Oh boy, Golden King crab clusters just $16.95 a pound right now at both New Sagaya and City Market. And this is a beautiful Mandarin white prawn, sweet and juicy, a favorite of the Chinese emperors, right now at New Sagaya and City Market, $9.99 a pound. Get them now? Eat like a Chinese emperor. In the butcher shop, all natural free-range fryers are featured special, just $2.19 a pound. Everybody loves fried chicken, and free range is the best. And at $2.19 a pound, it's very economical, too. Produce department has those great Blue Jay Mandarin oranges. They're just terrific snacks during the holidays. Get it all at New Sagaya Midtown and City Market, 13th and I.
Hey, if you think all you need to know about beer is how to pop the top off the can, go to worldclassbeer.com. There's a whole world of beer out there, and worldclassbeer.com can help you navigate it. Learn the difference between an ale and a lager at Beer U. Get descriptions of all the craft beers and learn why they're so different. And when you see one you'd like to try, the Beer Spy Locator can direct you to the closest store. Worldclassbeer.com, designed to help you get closer to your beer. Brought to you by the Odom Corporation. Always drink responsibly.
Hot Talk, KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080.
$7:17 on a Friday morning. How about that? The 5th day of December, 2014. We're listening to Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. Glen's off today. We're broadcasting on KOAN, KVNT. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. You can also watch us on the internet, the big fancy World Wide Web, or the interweb, as some people call it, at danfagan.us. danfagan.us. That's where you can get that. You know, we were talking earlier today about divorce and all that stuff with kids, and I used to be real hardline judgmental on people who got divorced, as someone who is divorced. But I don't, you know, I know there's so many extenuating circumstances that we don't know all the particulars. We don't know. You just don't know. You don't know what goes inside a marriage.
No, you don't.
You don't know if the husband is secretly verbally abusive to her, or even worse. You don't know if the wife is hypercritical and withholding sex. You just never know. So when I hear people are you know, getting a divorce, it's heartbreaking, especially if they're kids. It's just so tragic. I think what happens is that, you know, the grass is always greener on the other side thing kind of sets in.
But it's not.
Yeah, typically it's not.
There's problems everywhere.
Exactly.
It's going to follow you.
Exactly. But people go for that, and you know, look, if you're married to someone who's not trying, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, my husband and I went to a marriage class. It was a very intense marriage class through our church a few years ago, and it was so good. And it's interesting because I went to it, you know, I kind of said, hey, let's go to this thing. All my friends had gone to it. And I said, let's go to this thing, and thinking that I was going to have to drag him there. And I did, kind of. He kind of was like,
he wouldn't be a man if you didn't.
Right. So we went, and every week you had to get up and talk, which I don't think I knew how in-depth it was before we went, because he would never have gone if he would have known that.
Yeah.
And so every week I got more and more kind of closed off, And the book we were reading I didn't really like very much.
Right.
It talked about affair scenarios and at the beginning of every chapter, and I got more and more bitter, thinking this is stupid. I don't think anything of it, until the very last class when I realized the whole point is that the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Right.
And you go through life thinking, especially since I got married young, there was, of course, times in my life when I thought, oh, what did I miss? Because I had friends who were marrying later, and it seemed like they were so happy, but they were not.
Right.
And I feel very blessed for for getting married young and for the man that I have. But then the very last class, I totally lost it. And it really made me realize what the book was trying to say is that the grass is not always greener on the other side, and you've got to fix your own self before you move on to somebody else or decide to have your marriage work. So I don't know if that.
Well, Glen talks about marriage. I think he's as wise as anybody on this topic. He talks about it, how that it was just, it's not about happiness. It's about commitment. It's covenant.
It's a sacrifice.
It's a
He talks a lot about sacrifice.
It's work, but it's worth it.
Yes.
But if you go into a marriage, and I think I've told you this. There's a gal I worked with at Channel 2. She's a reporter, and she was going to get married that weekend, and we were all, a bunch of us out at lunch that day, and she said, well, if it doesn't work out, we'll just end it.
Yeah.
6 months later, she was divorced,
Sure.
Because she went into it thinking, well, this better make me happy. And what she said, her exact quote was, if I'm not happy, I'll just end it.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough.
It's me.
Well, you're going to run into a roadblock. There's going to be a conflict.
Mm-hmm.
You got two human beings. And so once the conflict comes, well, I'm not happy now.
Right. Yeah. And, once you get through those hard times, though, you get so much stronger with every roadblock and every time. And every time you get through that, you got to bust through it. And I've told you before, and, women, there came a time in my life where I was thinking, oh, he's so lucky. I've always thought he's so lucky to have me. He's, that's what your girlfriends tell you.
Right.
Oh, he, in your family and everything. He doesn't know what he's got.
Yeah.
But it was when I trained my brain to start thinking, wow, I'm so blessed to have him.
Gratitude.
Yes, and the other way around.
Yeah.
Once you start thinking beyond yourself,
yes,
that's when it got much better.
Yeah.
So, and of course there's still, obviously times, but you just go through those and you get stronger every time.
And it's.
And I remember my parents, I came along later in their life. They've been married 52 years now, and
wow.
They've gone through some rough times. I remember some rough times.
Oh, do you? How old were you when they were? How old were they when
they
you were
were
born?
35 and 36 when they
Okay.
had me.
Okay.
Yep.
And they had two other kids prior to that?
Yes. I was the oops.
So you're a mistake.
No.
What?
You're not supposed to
that's a
say
little
that.
harsh.
That's not the politically correct thing to say.
You were the unwanted child.
Oh, jeez.
Bonus child.
Bonus
Yeah.
child. Okay.
That's the baggage.
Uh-oh, what's this?
I was no, I'm just sick. I just have the flu for like 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
I'm not pregnant.
And how old are you? How much older is your next sibling?
11 years older.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow, that's how old's the oldest?
She's 12 years older than me.
Okay.
So they're, I don't know, 48 and 49.
No. Well, my two sisters were all 2 years apart. I'm the oldest in 2 years. 2 years.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, my parents were very good at
Spacing.
spacing. I guess that's the word for it.
I think that's the technical term.
Yeah. Well, it's just, it's what life's all about. Relationships, friendships, feeling a part of other people's lives, knowing that you're there. I have friends that I know that there's nothing they would not do for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
really good.
Oh, it's
so
huge.
special.
So huge.
Yeah.
I know I could call them, and no matter what. And you know what? I'd do the same for them.
Mm-hmm.
In a heartbeat. Let's say with family. There's nothing like family. I'm fortunate. I got a really good family. My sisters really married well. They all had great kids. And it's a real. They're not all perfect, but they're pretty close. They're pretty close. My one sister, Mary, with her husband and her 3 kids. But I don't know that there's 5 people I'd rather hang around with than this group of people. They're so much fun.
So when you're down there, are you going to be seeing all them?
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
going to have a big family
Oh
reunion?
yeah, oh yeah.
and
We
everything?
all it'll be
Lots of gumbo, and I don't even know what that is.
yeah.
Is that when they put like the corn on the cob and all the stuff together? What's
No,
that?
There's no corn on the cob and gumbo.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
Jambalaya.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
I think so.
No,
No?
jambalaya doesn't have corn on the cob.
Oh, what am I thinking
Well,
of when they
when
put everything in the big boiler or whatever?
Well, you can boil crawfish with
Yes.
potatoes and corn on the cob.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. That looks really, really good, and I want to try that sometime.
Yeah.
Do they put spices in all that?
No spices or salt. It's just plain.
Oh,
Yeah, Cajun food has no spice in it whatsoever.
huh.
See, this is sarcasm right here.
Oh, okay.
Remember we were talking about sarcasm?
Oh,
Sarcasm
I was
and
gonna say, wow, I've
gullibility.
really been
Basically,
wrong all
you
this
just
time.
asked me if Cajun food has spices in it. That was the question you basically asked me.
And Bonnie played the part of Glenn
That's right.
to be very gullible and believe you.
Well, I went to Bubba Gump's while I was in Hawaii, so
No, that's not-
I know
that's not real food.
what it is.
That's not real food. Was that on the Big Island?
No, that was on Maui.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
no, that's-
you know what? Our server, he
Yeah.
looked like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
I took a picture of him.
I've
I'll
been
show
to several bubble gums. That's just shrimp.
Oh.
You can go to
Those
Long
really
John
good
Silver's.
shrimp.
No, it's not. It's
Well, we don't have Long John
it's a
Silver's.
chain.
We don't have Long John Silver's.
Let me
We used
tell
to
you
have a Skipper's.
And you know, I don't like to be a snob. I'm nothing worse than snobby people. But until you've lived in New Orleans for a full year, you really don't know what good food is.
That's what I hear.
I'm telling you, it's just absolutely ridiculous down there.
Yeah. Well,
when
I
people
need to get out more.
down at the state fair, they had jambalaya, right?
hmm
I ordered this little bowl of rice with about 10 pounds of cayenne pepper on it. I couldn't even eat it. My
That's
mouth
what
was
happens
on fire.
when an Alaskan makes it.
Yeah, I said, what is this? I said, you can't eat this. And that's the thing
Wow.
about Cajun food. It's not necessarily spicy. It's flavorful.
hmm
It's not like it's red hot.
Not like Mexican food, like if you
Yeah.
get the
No, it's just very flavorful.
hot sauce or whatever.
So good, though. Oh,
Oh, I'm getting a little hungry.
yeah, no, you can't.
Forget Pop-Tarts. I want some jambalaya.
We were talking about stuffing the other day, and I was giving Glenn a hard time for not putting it in the turkey, which is very egregious.
Well, that's when it's stuffing. I think he was talking about dressing. There's a difference.
No, there's not.
The stuffing is what goes inside the turkey.
Dressing is
Because you're
stuffing.
stuffing the turkey.
Dressing is stuffing.
Oh,
Now, my brother-in-law, he makes oyster stuffing.
yes, I've heard that's
and
a
he
big
puts
thing.
it in the turkey, and he fries the turkey.
Yes.
Oh,
I saw Duck Dynasty people
Oh.
doing that
oh,
lately.
good. So
It looks
good.
dangerous to me.
It's just ridiculous. It'll make you want to slap your grandma. It's so good. So good. Not a good place to go lose weight, New Orleans. Not a good place to lose weight.
Yeah, but it'll be good to see people and get out and go golfing. I guess that's good. I've never been golfing. Miniature golfing. It's not the same thing.
It's pretty much the same.
There's that sarcasm.
Yeah, right. You're right. 569-1080, 569-1080. Want to tell you about my good friend Keith Montanak over at Specialty Truck and Auto. He is a mechanic you can trust. He's very trustworthy. Keith and his ASC certified mechanics are so good at what they do. Best team in the whole state of Alaska, really, when we're talking about automobile repair. Go see Keith and his team of auto mechanics over on right across the street from the Long Branch Saloon off of Abbott. Here's his number to set up a time to go see him. And if he's got enough people on staff at the time, he may be able to give you a ride back to where you need to go after you drop your car off. If you call in advance and let him know you're coming. Here's the number. 349-1637. 349-1637. That's Keith Montanak, Specialty Truck and Auto. All right, we're broadcasting on KOAN, KVNT. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. Give us a call. Our number, 569-1080. 569-1080.
Anchorage, the best or nothing.
From the Fox Fox Business Network stocks are trading higher as investors look over the strongest job report in nearly 3 years. The government says the economy created 321,000 jobs last month, stronger than expected. Virtually every industry added positions. The unemployment rate held steady at 5.8%. The report puts the economy on track for its strongest year of job creation since 1999. At around 11 a.m. Eastern, the Dow Industrials are up 55 points, and shares of Big Lots are plunging. The discount retailer reported a bigger-than-expected third-quarter loss due to weak demand for its home improvement products, electronics, and toys. Sales of just over $1 billion came in just below the forecast. And J.P. Morgan Chase is rallying to a 14-year high. According to an internal memo obtained by Reuters, CEO Jamie Dimon says medical tests show no evidence of cancer in his body. Dimon was diagnosed with throat cancer in July and was undergoing treatment. With Fox Business Report, I'm Jolene Kent.
This holiday season, give the most eternal, unique gift of the year. Name a star after someone. I'm Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, we'll name a star after anyone on your gift list. The star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office, and we will send an incredible personalized gift package. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com for the gift that shines forever.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. A former postal worker in Puslia, accused of embezzling nearly $50,000 from her employer, is expected to plead guilty later this month in a deal that avoids jail time. A budget prepared by former Governor Sean Parnell before he left office is being released by new Governor Bill Walker without endorsements. Walker is submitting a budget drafted by Parnell in order to satisfy December 15th deadline. Changes can be made before it's enacted. Finally, as our own Aunt Kenda reports, the University of Alaska Anchorage has recruited a hoop star.
California resident Yasmin Gu has signed a letter of intent to play with the Seawolves. The 5'10" center is finishing her senior year at Westmore High School in Daly City. UAA officials called her an excellent fit for the Seawolves, who ranked 18th in recent polls.
That's your Hot Talk News update. Local weather is next.
Today will be partly sunny with a high 26, then a partly cloudy night, low of 18. Clouds increasing tomorrow, high 26, then a partly cloudy night tomorrow night with a low 21. The temperatures will rise through the 20s overnight. And for Sunday, it will be mostly cloudy. Chance for a bit of snow or flurries, a high 34. Rather cloudy Monday with a high 34. Hot Talk, breaking news and the latest weather. KOAN, 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
We'll pay you to feel good. We'll pay you to look good. We'll pay you to get treated like the spectacular human being you are. Sound reasonable? When you join us at Allure Day Spa and Hair Design for any service, we give you loyalty reward points to use on any of our products. You get a massage, you feel great, and we give you points to use on products. You have a beauty day, hair, facial, nails. You look wow. And we give you points to spend on products. You come in for waxing, points for products. It's our way of saying thank you for being a client. If you've never been to Allure Day Spa, here's what you'll like. Allure was voted one of the top 5 salons in America, and it's for everyone. If you've never been to Allure, please come by and take a tour to see why people say, I should have stopped in sooner. Once you get to know us, we think you'll love us. Of course, you'll find us on the web, but more importantly, you can find Allure Day Spa and Hair Design downtown, corner of 5th and B.
Local news, weather, and the Dan Fagan Glen Biegel Show on Hot Talk, KOAN. Brought to you by Connect Country Liquor. With 4 convenient locations in the Valley and Talkeetna, you won't find a better selection.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Here's my good friend, Keith Monternock.
Automotive repairs can be frustrating. Let me help. Call 349-1637. I have been in business for nearly 20 years at the same location. Specialty Truck and Auto is in South Anchorage behind the Long Branch Saloon where Diamond becomes Abbott. I have 6 ASE certified technicians working from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. I have a voucher for any of the 6 Alaska Laser Wash locations for each customer. If you schedule ahead and need a ride when you drop your vehicle off, I may be able to help. Call Specialty Truck and Auto, 349-1637.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
$7:36 in the morning on this Friday morning, the 5th of December, 2014. Dan Fagan here. Glen Biegel is off today. Bonnie Cameron's in. Our number 569-1080. So you heard, Brian, you heard Dan Sullivan, the mayor, say yesterday that on Steerin's show that he thought that Begich would not run for mayor?
Well, no, he said he didn't think he would win.
Oh.
And that after losing the Senate and then coming to town, after, everybody's making the case that his mayorship had all these problems. So why would he want to go back there and have to defend all that? And if he did, he would probably lose, is what he said.
So it would be redigging up of all those labor union contracts. And
yeah.
He was practically running during the Senate for mayor because some of his commercials, he was standing on top of like the Denina Center and he was talking about all the things he'd done. So even then I was thinking, wow, it's almost like he's running for mayor too because he's trying to convince people in Anchorage how good he was. So I don't know. I definitely think he's going to make a go of it. Everything he's said so far that I've heard makes it sound like he's going to run for mayor.
Well, and the spin on that story from yesterday was more all the other Republican or Democrat or left-leaning saying, oh, yeah, we'd be out of it if he was in because that's a lock to win. So that's propaganda.
So listen to what Ivan Moore said. You know Ivan Moore, he's the hard left poster. This is what he writes about the Michael Brown, Eric Garner. These are the two guys that have died at the hands of white policemen recently. He says the bottom line issue about he's from England, that's why about the Michael Brown, Eric Garner manslaughters isn't really about race. It's about cops killing people. In the United States, about 500 people are killed by bullets each year. In the UK, 2. In Germany, 6. Don't guns make us safer?
Gag.
Well, that's not a response.
I don't know where he gets his statistics, first of all.
Yeah, you never really can trust the leftist figures.
Right, and especially his, from what I'm
yeah,
from what I've heard.
Polls, yeah.
Those are guns in the hands of law enforcement, first of all.
Yeah.
And with the Michael Brown case, to me, it was open and shut. The guy was defending himself. His right to defend himself does not end the second he gets a gun and a badge. It was pure self-defense. It's been proven to be self-defense. I think there was much more testimony that even we didn't hear that the grand jury did hear. People keep saying that Michael Brown was unarmed, but I'm sorry, he'd already used his fists as a weapon, and so he was not unarmed. That is open and shut. Now, the Garner thing is completely separate of this. Just because the people involved happen to have the same skin color does not mean that it's the same thing. It's a completely different case on its own. The police officer was trying to enforce a stupid law. All of them were. They're out there trying to find criminals where they're probably just very small-time criminals.
But Mr. Garner resisted arrest. So is the police officer to say, oh, well, this is a stupid law, this guy's resisting arrest, I better back off?
I'm not sure how much can you resist arrest when you are in that bad of health, where he's got asthma.
Well,
It's not like he was going to run away.
He's throwing his arms around, and
There's just other ways to
he's like
take
a
somebody
300-pound
down.
guy.
There's other ways to take somebody down, but from what I understand, New York has taken chokehold off of the list.
Right.
What the police officer was trying to do was called a seatbelt hold.
You know, Gardner died in the ambulance, not on the scene.
Well, it sounds like they did not get him medical assistance soon enough.
Well, but my point is, he didn't die at the hands of the police
then.
officer.
Yeah, it's not like
And he had a heart condition. He was well overweight.
Yes.
He had
But that's
other
what I'm saying.
medical
He wasn't going to run away, but they didn't know of his medical problems
but
at
he
the time.
resisted arrest.
Yeah.
So when you're a police officer and you have a 300-pound guy, you go to put handcuffs on, and he starts swinging at you. So are you saying the officer
Was he swinging? I
It
didn't
looked
see
like
video of him
he was
swinging.
kind of moving his arms a lot. He wasn't really
resist-
swinging.
Well, he was resisting arrest.
Yeah, he was making it hard for them to be able to grab his
Right.
arm. And
So at that point, what are you calling on the officer to do? Just back off and go, oh, well,
they
it's
had
not a big...
one of them had to have a taser.
yeah, they should have called for backup and just had several more people there.
And you
Well,
don't
there
think
was
a
like
taser would have
four or
killed the guy? I mean,
No.
if you have a chokehold,
No, I don't think a taser would have killed him.
well, a taser's much more dramatic than a chokehold, isn't it?
It's just debilitating for a few seconds.
People have been killed, accidentally by being hit by tasers too.
Yeah. Well, and that in the Michael Brown case, they
And,
also
he has
say,
a
we should have
record
used a taser.
on 2 other occasions resisting arrest.
Well, I already told Glenn I wouldn't have indicted him either.
Yeah.
From what I've seen anyway, the officer, I wouldn't have indicted the officer. But I think that it all goes back to the crux of the problem, which is trying to enforce stupid, silly New York laws.
That's not that has nothing to do with
I think it does. I think it does. There's the trying to sell these cigarettes or whatever they were. I mean, there's people out there selling crack on the streets, and they're getting on this guy for selling cigarettes.
Well, if you don't do something illegal, you won't come in contact with the police in that manner.
Well, that's true too. It all goes back to personal responsibility. But I don't think that police officers should be spending their time on these kinds of things. I mean, there were how many police officers do you need? There was 5 or 6 of them.
So the
there.
law was that you can't sell cigarettes on the street?
There were a certain kind of cigarettes.
No, they were untaxed or something like that is what they
Right.
said.
Right.
And
Basically,
he's
you
gotten in
can't.
trouble for it before.
Yeah,
Right.
he's selling like single cigarettes to people or something like that.
So you don't think that we should have laws about, I mean, what if somebody who's a car dealer, let's say we had a sales tax, and which most places do, we don't, but and the car dealer opens up and says, you know what, I'm gonna sell my cars and nobody's gonna pay taxes. Should the police go in there and arrest that guy?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's
You don't know.
No, I mean for instance, if the guy was selling well, I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. But
that would be another agency probably.
No, but the point is, you can't just have businesses when you set up a tax that businesses have to pay, and then one guy says, I'm not going to abide by those rules, and I'm going to sell my stuff tax free. You can't just let that happen.
look at New York's laws though. They outlawed a certain
Okay,
type
but
of
let's
soda for a
focus-
while.
Well,
No,
no,
that's
it's
the
like-
same kind of
let's
thing.
focus-
It's a little different. He didn't have a business.
But he was selling cigarettes illegal.
Right. It's like if I was out on the street selling watches that I
Right.
found, fell off a truck.
I just think that law enforcement is trying to now. Well, they're going to be liable for this. They're going to probably get sued for millions of dollars, and they do have a case where that's concerned.
Well, to me, the big
And they're trying to enforce these silly laws that are New York
well,
style
I
laws.
agree we should have fewer laws. Probably about 10% of the ones we have now are legit. But the crux of the matter is, it's not a race issue.
No.
And I look, sometimes there are police officers who because they have authority, it goes to their head. Sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they treat people as though they're emperors,
Mhm.
and that you're going to do it my way, and if you give me any kind of resistance, I'm going to overuse my force, and I think that can be made in the Garner case. But it had nothing to do with race, because we don't know anything that was in the guy's heart.
I would definitely agree with that.
744.
legacyoflife.org. Brought to you by Legacy and Leave No Trace. I am holding up here, right in front of the microphone so you can see it, an enormous golden king crab leg. See how big this is? I do this so you can see that New Sagaya and City Market are featuring big golden king crab clusters, legs and claws only, special this weekend, just $16.95 a pound. Incredible in crab salads or just steamed and served right with melted butter. Oh boy, golden king crab clusters just $16.95 a pound right now at both New Sagaya and City Market. And this is a beautiful mandarin white prawn, sweet and juicy, a favorite of the Chinese emperors, right now at New Sagaya and City Market, $9.99 a pound. Get them now? Eat like a Chinese emperor. In the butcher shop, all natural free-range fryers are featured special, just $2.19 a pound. Everybody loves fried chicken, and free-range is the best. And at $2.19 a pound, it's very economical, too. Produce department has those great Blue Jay mandarin oranges. They're just terrific snacks during the holidays. Get it all at New Sagaya Midtown and City Market, 13th and I.
Hi, this is Brian Stan. I was a Marine Corps officer before becoming a UFC fighter. Military experience can add greatly to your life, as it has mine. The Air Force Reserve offers many part-time jobs in Alaska, which will allow you to continue your civilian career at the same time. You'll receive excellent training, educational assistance, and many other benefits. Join an outstanding team in the Air Force Reserve. For more information on the Air Force Reserve, go to afreserve.com.
This message is sponsored by the Air Force Reserve and aired by the Alaska Broadcasters Association and this local station.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
569-1080 is the number if you want to join Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. Glen's off today. We're on KOAN, KVNT, 569-1080. We're streaming on danfagan.us, video and audio, 569-1080. So this Garner guy who was under the chokehold and died, and you look at the video, I think Brian, Bonnie, we all agree that the police should have used more. They should have waited. There was no imminent danger to anyone at the point. Garner was resisting arrest, but there was no reason to get so aggressive with him at that point. But let me say this about that. And as someone who has done
lots
25 ride-alongs with police officers and been to thousands of crime scenes, you have to understand the perspective of the officers when they encounter people on a daily basis. Once someone resists arrest, that is a real potential situation for police officers to frankly suffer great injury and harm, or see people around them. Now, I know this guy was big, fat guy, probably couldn't have done much. But when you're out on the street every day, and when you come into a situation where someone is not respecting your authority as a law enforcement officer, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to the police officer. And carrying that mentality with you on your daily going about your business, I can see how that it's just something would rise up within you as a law enforcement official if someone says, no, I will not respect the rule of law. No, I will not comply with you arresting me. That's the worst case scenario for police officers. And so they are trained to use common sense and not to go overboard, but then their experience also has a play in the decisions they make when someone resists arrest. And their experience tells them, oh, this could get really ugly. We need to contain this thing immediately. The longer you let it go, because, a lot of these criminals that they deal with are high on crack, high on meth, drunk. And if you try to negotiate with them and reason with them and let them have any kind of leeway in the situation, things always get worse. And so officers understand when they're out dealing with the criminal element that we need to contain the situation as soon as possible. Because the longer we wait to contain the situation, only bad things can happen. Once we have the suspect locked, in a position where they cannot we have control of them, then the situation's under control. And it's almost like a firefighter when they go to a house. The longer the house burns, the worse that can happen. So there's always an urgency to get the fire under control. And with law enforcement, when they go out and deal with people who refuse to come under the rule of law and submit to arrest, the longer that situation remains that way, the worse things can happen. And so I can see how the officer who had, Mr. Garner, and jump up there and put a chokehold on him, in his mind, we need to get the situation. This is a big dude. We need to get the situation under control. And Brian said during the break, and I agree, that this guy wasn't going to run away. He wasn't going to. He seemed like there wasn't a lot of danger there, but you also have to look at it through the eyes of the officer and the experience that they've had with people who have resisted arrest. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I know all about that.
I do. I do believe there is. I mean, I can't put myself in those positions. None of us can until you're there. And so it's always easy to say after the fact, oh, he should have done this, he should have done that. When there is video of it, but still that doesn't tell the whole story. No. So I think that grand juries are given a lot of evidence, and they usually come back with some kind of charge, so for there to be some kind of trial.
Right.
So when they don't come back with something, that there probably was overwhelming evidence for them not to charge somebody.
I can't say that. People are stupid.
I don't know.
You watch the show Cops. Every time they take somebody down or put the cuffs on them, every time, and the person's like, ow, 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 ow.
Oh yeah. No. That's every time.
The cuffs are too tight. Oh my God,
Yes.
you're hurting
Oh,
me.
yeah.
My knee.
Oh, absolutely.
They've heard this every single time they have to go after somebody.
No one has ever been cuffed saying, "Oh, that feels good."
Yeah.
Oh, that's just perfect tension on the handcuffs. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. So when he said, "I can't breathe," everybody who's ever been a chokehold has said, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's going to go on with it, but I do know that there's going to be a huge civil lawsuit. I heard $75 million.
Well,
is what they're suing the city.
You look back at the Rodney King video, the famous, all the officers beat, but he wouldn't get down. He led them on a high-speed chase. He would not get down.
Yeah, wasn't he on PCP or something?
No, he was all hopped up on drugs. And he would not get down. And so they had to keep hitting him because he wouldn't get down.
Mm-hmm.
If he would have stayed on the ground, they could have cuffed him immediately. And, videotapes can be deceiving.
Yeah. Well, there's a fine line because we have rights. And then there's points where you should probably do what the police officer tells you to do, and then talk later. Explain later. Do what they say now, but there is a fine line when, they don't have all power. They're not all powerful.
I think that it is appropriate to submit to the police officer at all times and then fight it in court. If the police officers put your hand behind your back, your hands up against the car.
Sure, if you're doing something
You're right.
that
You submit.
there's something that you might be suspected of,
And he
then
may
yes.
be wrong. He may have the wrong guy. He may have mistaken you for somebody else. That's not the time to fight it.
Right.
Because it is the police officer's job to get control of the situation as quickly as possible. And if you are suspected of doing something, and he may be wrong, go ahead and let him put the handcuffs on you. You'll get down to the police station, and you'll get an attorney, and you'll have every right to prove you're innocent. But at the point of arrest is not the time to fight the charge.
Well, I mean, there's times where, like, if you're stopped, I personally do not even roll my window down all the way, and because I don't have to. I'm in my car. If that happens, I roll my window down a little ways, and then I give them my license and registration. I don't say anything I don't have to because you don't have to.
Why? Why would you do that, though?
Because you don't have to. It's your right not to say anything.
But you don't respect the law enforcement?
No, it's not about respect. The respect goes both ways. It's about my rights as a citizen.
I understand.
Now, if I'm doing something wrong and they suspect me of something, that's definitely...
I don't know how that crack got there. It's not mine.
Have you been pulled over for not doing something wrong?
Well, I was pulled over with a friend of mine, and we pulled off the side of the road, and we didn't know what we had done at all.
Who was driving?
She was driving, and the police officer came up to her side of the window, and she just had it rolled down a crack, and maybe an inch or so, enough to get the paper and license
That is
through.
so rude.
No, it's not.
I find it rude, but go ahead.
It's not rude. I mean, it's your vehicle.
I understand.
They're not. They don't have all power.
See, I'm always very nice to them, and
It's not about niceties.
Well, they should put out rules on what they expect, because they don't want you to get out of the car. That's for sure.
Right? Yeah.
So
How far do you have to roll it down to be respectable?
So you were pulled over.
We didn't know what we were
unjustifiably?
pulled
Right.
over for, and he said, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And we actually said, "No, we don't know why we were pulled over. Why?" And he said, "Well, you were hugging the white line. It was a two-lane,
Right.
one-way highway,
Right.
and we were in a Suburban, and he
Okay.
thought we were hugging the middle line,
Right.
And really, I think he was just wanting to pull us over because we had Alaska. We were in Idaho, and it was Alaska
Oh.
tags. So anyway,
Well, I know that when they look for drunk drivers, that's one of the things they look for, hugging the white line.
Yeah, maintaining your lane.
Yeah, so that's I think that's probably why he pulled you over.
yeah. Well,
Because it was a woman driver, right?
yes.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, and for if they can find one reason to pull you over, and you see this on cops all the time too. Oh, he's got a broken taillight.
Yeah.
Sure, they have a
And
reason.
a half
they
a
can
pound
pull
of
you
crack in the trunk.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he said, "Is there a reason you're not rolling your window down?"
Yeah.
And we said, "Well,
Because I'm rude.
I don't have to.
That is
This
so
is plenty."
rude.
And he said, "Well, do they not roll down windows in Alaska?" And I mean, he was getting smart, and there's no reason for that. There is no reason
I
for
would
that
do
whatsoever.
the same thing.
Yeah, it's cold.
It's disrespectful.
They're people.
Here's
too.
a guy
They're
who
just
goes out
another
and,
person.
and puts his life on the line every day to protect us.
I put my
and-
life on the
and-
line. My
and-
husband puts his life
And
on the
you're
line
not
up on the
even going
North
to have
Slope.
the courtesy to roll your window down for the guy?
I don't have to. I don't know who
I
he
know
is.
you don't have to be nice to the
Sometimes
guy.
police officers are, there's some bad ones too. I'm a woman. We're with our kids.
That is so disrespectful.
No, I don't care. You don't have to do it.
I know you don't have to be courteous to police officers, and it is discourteous to crack the window.
No, it's not.
You don't
it's
think
a
it's
protection issue. No, we were being
Protection?
safe.
But what do you think, he's going to shoot you?
No,
What is it protecting you
but
from?
I protect myself from everything. I don't trust anybody that
But
I don't
what do
know.
you think he's going to do?
It's not about that.
But you just said it was a protection
What's
issue.
the point of rolling your window down all the time?
Because it's courteous. It's polite.
Maybe I don't have to show that all the time. I don't know if that's the right way to say
When I
it.
go to McDonald's, I only go about 3/4 of the way down.
You have a right to remain silent. You don't have to tell them anything. Actually, the more you say, the worse trouble you can get.
I roll my window down all the way. Say, how you doing, officer?
That's good for you, but I don't have to do that.
Well, I'm respectful of law enforcement.
Good. I am too. I
No,
can
you're
say
not.
yes or no, sir, by not rolling my window down too. He can hear me. I can hear him. That's plenty of room.
She's a woman. It's different for women.
7:58.
Best
What did I just say? Delivery is free if you live in Anchorage. Wow, that's cool. Okay, back to the commercial. Best split firewood. Call now, 727-5928. That's 727-5928 and get 2 bundles of starter sticks with your order. Hold on, 2 bundles of starter sticks and free delivery in Anchorage? That's way cool. Best Split Firewood will deliver mostly all birch split and ready for your fireplace or wood stove, no matter how much you need. A quarter, half, or full cord. They have the best firewood in the city, and they'll even mix in some spruce if you ask for it. And don't worry if you just need a couple of bundles. Best Split Firewood has them wrapped and ready to go at half of what you would pay anywhere else in the city. Best Split Firewood. Call today for free delivery in Anchorage and 2 bundles of starter sticks. 727-5928. That's 727-5928.
Visit their new location at 2000 East 68th Avenue in Anchorage.
You're listening to Hot Talk, KOAN Anchorage, AM 1080, and retranslated on 95.1 FM on K236CG Anchorage.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. NASA's new space capsule splashing down in the Pacific a few minutes ago after its first test flight. Fox News Radio's Evan Brown. How'd it look?
Chris, NASA is saying the test mission was picture perfect, with Orion landing some 600 miles off the coast of Baja California after a flight that took it to a height of 3,600 miles.
We have splashdown. Splashdown confirmed at 10:29 a.m. Central Time. Orion is back on Earth. America has driven a golden spike as it crosses a bridge into the future.
Orion's flight today lasted about 4.5 hours and proved the design for the next NASA exploration ship is working. Orion is expected one day to take U.S. astronauts to Mars. Chris?
Evan Brown, thanks. If confirmed, Ashton Carter will be the 25th Secretary of Defense. At the White House, Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern.
Well before the president made the nomination official, Ash Carter was viewed as a top contender for the top job at the Pentagon, serving up until last year as a deputy defense secretary.
I relied on his expertise, and I relied on his judgment.
President Obama describing Carter as one of the country's foremost national security leaders, the nominee pledging
My most candid strategic advice.
Key Republicans say they support Carter's nomination, but question if his advice will be taken by the president's inner circle. Chris.
And Jared, President Obama says the new labor numbers show real progress. 321,000 jobs added, with the unemployment rate steady at 5.8.
Job gains were widespread across all sectors, and average hourly earnings rose 0.4% to $24.66. That's the biggest increase since June 2013. The average work week was 34.6, the highest level since May 2008.
Fox Business Network's Peter Barnes, the Commerce Department, reports orders to U.S. factories slipped for a third straight month in October. This is Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
This holiday season, a lot of jewelry stores are talking about value and quality, but talk is cheap. At Helzberg Diamonds, we actually show you what real value and quality mean. With our remarkable asset device, you can see for yourself how and why a diamond sparkles the way it does. Join us as we celebrate 100 years of love with exceptional quality and extraordinary value. Helzberg Diamonds, a Berkshire Hathaway company.
For all of you who are inspired to create your own unique holiday cards and gifts.
For all of you, there's Vistaprint.com. At Vistaprint.com, creating personalized holiday cards is simple. Choose from hundreds of designs and add your own photos and special messages. And there's 60% off. Plus, personalized one-of-a-kind gifts are also up to 60% off. It's our best deal of the season. But hurry, offer ends December 7th. The only way to get this incredible deal is to go to Vistaprint.com, click the microphone in the upper right corner, and enter code RADIO60. Vistaprint.com, code RADIO, the word 60.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to never be asked, what would you like for Christmas? And even if you did get asked, you know you wouldn't get it. For most teen youth in the foster system, this is a sad reality. But this year, you can change all that. This holiday season, you can make a difference with Pump Up the Kids. Alaska Integrated Media and this station have once again teamed up with the Alaska Center for Families and the Office of Children's Services for the 5th annual Pump Up the Kids. Did you know that we have hundreds of foster care kids who are in need? Kids who won't have much of a Christmas unless you help. This year, make a holiday wish come true for a local teen youth foster child by adopting a wish list. Go to alaskaim.com and click on the Pump Up the Kids logo to register. We'll contact you and get you a wish list, or simply make a donation.
Mark your calendars. It's time for the 15th annual Guns N' Hoses charity hockey game, where Anchorage Fire and Police face off against Alaska's military at the Sullivan Arena. Cheer on Alaska's finest. Sunday, December 7th. There will be tons of fun for the whole family. Free pony rides and face painting. Visit with Santa and see the holiday fire truck. Say hi to Star the reindeer. Shoot to win a new car. The puck drops at 4. Come on down to the Sullivan Arena. Sunday, December 7th at 4. And cheer on your favorite team.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can grow your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Why is A&A The Shop Alaska's independent Subaru specialist? How is it they've been voted the best shop in Anchorage not once but 6 times? Well, it's pretty simple. They offer the best warranty in the business. If they work on your Subaru, you're going to get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on both parts and labor. That's unheard of. A&A The Shop deals exclusively with Subarus, and they also offer $35 oil changes. All their technicians are ASE certified. Call A&A The Shop for an appointment. 562-3919 in Anchorage and 696-2096 in Eagle River. Hot Talk KOAN. Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
All right, this is interesting. This is good stuff. So Bonnie Cameron, I'm not attacking you. I'm just restating your position. If a police officer pulls you over, you will just crack the window.
Maybe I should restate my position.
Oh, go ahead.
So my position is that if you are pulled over, it is not mandatory that you roll your window down all the way.
Right.
That is something that is a personal choice.
Right.
I choose to roll the window down as much as it takes to get the license and registration and to hear the police officer.
Now, you described it as cracking the window previously. Are you changing
I said an
your
inch.
position?
No, I said an inch.
Okay, that's a cracked window.
Sure.
And you say when you do this, the officer typically gets mad at you. Is that...
No, actually, no. The only time that it happened, the officer was like, why aren't you rolling? Is there a reason you're not rolling your window down all the way?
Right.
And we just said, because we don't want to. This is
Right.
plenty. I can hear you. You
And
can hear me.
You
and
don't think that officer would have seen that as a sign of disrespect?
I don't care. That's his. If he takes it that way, then that's how he can take it. But that's my right. It's my property. That's my line of defense against anybody who is coming to my door.
569-1080. 569-1080. Let's go to Jay. Jay, you're on with Bonnie, the cop hater.
Oh my
Hey, actually, I'm going to come on and say Bonnie's about 100% right. I have teenage daughters. Just about a year ago, we had the case of, maybe it's a little bit more than a year, of that cop that was raping women that he was arresting.
Mm-hmm.
We've had people dress up like cops and pull women over and assault them. You roll down your window enough, you yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, completely polite. But you leave that line of defense. That is exactly what I teach my daughters. 100%.
To just crack the window.
You leave the window open enough to give him everything he needs to, or she needs to have. And actually, there are police officers who advise that.
That's
Up
right.
Here it's cold. Up here it's cold anyway. You've got a perfectly legitimate reason to say, I'm running my heater. I've got my kids in the back. You leave that line of defense completely polite. If he asks you to get out of the car, you ask for a second form of identification before you do so.
From the cop?
Besides just a badge. Absolutely.
And
make sure he's got an ID in his pocket. There have been women pulled over and raped because some guy got mail order lights and a badge. Absolutely.
You're talking about
100%.
a marked...
I'm talking about somebody with a light on top of their car and a fake badge.
And they're in uniform.
If they asked me to get out of my car, I would
Uniforms
actually
can
ask
be ordered.
for a supervisor backup. In my case, that's what I would do. I would say I want another backup.
Absolutely. You say, I'm obviously non-threatening. Both my hands are on the wheel. You can see everything in my car. I don't have a weapon. I need a second form of ID, or I need a backup and another cop.
Actually, I probably would say nothing.
Yeah. Well, but absolutely, you leave that line of defense, because if he can reach it, if it is someone pretending to be a cop, once that window is down, if he's bigger than you, you've lost. No, no, it is not anything about respect. It's all about protection and safety, and you absolutely speak completely politely. You comply immediately with, here's my license, here's my registration. Here you want to look around the car, I've got all my lights on, you can see there's nothing threatening. It's not about respect. And I have enough police officer friends. The ones that are good aren't going to mind. They're going to understand that women need to be protected. And the ones that take it wrong are just, something we can't say on the radio.
Well, that's their problem.
Hey, Brian, could you pull your notebook out and see if I've admitted I was wrong this week yet?
Not this week yet.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that now.
Okay.
I think Bonnie's justifiable.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay.
Hey, you guys have a great day. Love listening
Thank
to
you,
you on
Jay.
the way to work.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate
All right,
that.
bye.
All right, I'm wrong. That makes sense. I hate being wrong, but I think you're right. You know, it's different when you're with a woman. You know, that guy who, what was his name, Rollins, raped all those women. Now, that was done back at the police headquarters, but he got him back there.
He had an unmarked car,
right.
too, I think.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
you know, it's just my guideline. You know, I have to run through these scenarios in my head first.
Yeah.
And decide what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And so it's
But
not something.
It's not like. But
I'd do the same thing if it was a woman.
All right. Now, I admitted that I was wrong about that. As a woman, you protected yourself. You cracked the
But
window.
even if it was a woman police officer,
I
I'd still
understand
do the same
thing. But what I guess I was a little concerned about the conversation we had during the break, where I was talking about when I encounter law enforcement, I go way out of my way to be courteous and respectful because I really respect what they do. And you was like, oh, why do you respect it? It's just a job. It's just a job. You were making it sound like the fact.
I'm saying that you're putting them on a pedestal.
Yes.
And they deserve respect. To me, everybody who works deserves respect. Everybody who doesn't work deserves. I mean, you can earn it in a way that I'm going to be like, oh, hey, you know, and talk to you freely.
So you
and
don't
then
think,
there's another kind of respect to me where it's just like, hello, ma'am, hello, sir.
So you
good
don't
day.
think that
that
someone
kind of thing
who puts a uniform on and takes a job knowing like they may have to run into a burning house as a fireman,
yes,
or they may go to a domestic violence call where they can be shot. You don't think people who take jobs like that deserve extra respect?
Honestly, this might be controversial, but I have the same respect for them as I do for my husband who goes up on the slope and can lose limbs or get acid on him, drives a truck that's dangerous. I have the same amount of respect for anybody who works. You come to work and you're risking your life by driving a car. Yes, I know that they're putting themselves in extra harm's way, but that's something that they're choosing to do.
And you don't think they deserve extra respect?
Deserve, I don't like the word deserve. I don't think anybody really deserves anything.
Well, you've heard of radio hosts being shot for their opinions, right?
Oh, dear.
No, there was one guy that I know of. They made a movie.
They've made a couple movies.
Yeah.
There was even one up here. I think that was actually to deal with a woman, though.
Yeah, that was a love spat.
Well, still, to me, people who
you think when someone decides, I'm going to go become a police officer, that they don't deserve an additional... What about people in the military? Do you respect them more?
I respect them for going out there and doing what they do. Yes.
So do you think people in the military deserve extra respect because of putting themselves in harm's way?
I give everybody the same amount of respect.
So you don't
honestly
think military personnel deserve extra respect?
I love I have families in the military. I have the same amount of respect for them,
so
no matter what.
So you don't think the military personnel
I have, and no, I'm giving
respect?
you. No, I'm telling you.
She's saying yes.
No, she's not.
No,
she
I'm
said
telling
they deserve
you.
the same respect as anybody else.
I have the same respect. Like my niece's husband is in the military.
I understand.
I
I'm
respect him.
I'm
answering you. I respect him just as much as I respect my husband.
So
yes.
you don't respect someone in the military more because they go
Are you trying to call me unpatriotic? Is that where you're going with that?
I'm asking a simple question. Do you respect the military?
Because I think there's a difference.
Do you respect the military personnel more because of the decision they make to join the military?
No.
Okay, so you see Brian, he wasn't saying yes. Take a break. Dan Fagan.
Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
Don't
Complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number.
Call 877-319-MY-TV.
The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So cancel the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money.
Call 877-319-MY-TV.
Just $24.99. What are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card.
Call 877-319-MY-TV. That's 877-319-MY-TV.
So tell me, have you ever wondered where some people get those imaginative and most appropriate Christmas gifts? I've learned the secret. It's all about shopping the amazing selection of outstanding gifts from Bells. For instance, this week, all Bells' beautiful leather handbags are 25% off. They make a great gift for any female on your list. All women love the leather handbags at Bells. Another beautiful gift, the exquisite stemware and wine accessories are all 25% off this week. Plus, lots of other creative, unique bargains as well. And a word to the wise, the best Christmas trees are going fast in the Bell's warm, cozy greenhouses, so come get yours now so you don't miss out on the perfect tree. And you know what makes a great Christmas gift for those hard-to-buy-for folks? See's candy, of course. Chocolates are traditional at Christmas, but you want to be sure you give the best. And the best is See's Fabulous Chocolates, only available at Bell's. Bring the kids to Bell's for their Santa pictures Saturday at Specking from 11 to 5 and Sunday at Bell's Cranberry Road from 11 to 4. Oh, Christmas is beautiful at Bell's.
There's a lot of so-called experts out there claiming to have the key to success in business for a price. Are you ready for real business advice you can trust without a fee? Then don't miss Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Advice from people in the know. Technology, finance, taxes, and more. Business people helping business people take their skills and services to the next level. Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt. Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. on Hot Talk, KOAN, 95.1 FM and 1080 a.m.
On with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
Mike Daniels, Country Financial. He's a guy who can help you get to retirement quicker. And when you get to the retirement, you're gonna be much more comfortable, and you're not gonna have to worry about money, because Mike Daniels and his Country Financial representatives are very good when it comes to financial planning. They have 13 locations here in Alaska, Country Financial locations. 5 in the Valley, 5 in Anchorage. Give them a call. Here's the number, 866-COUNTRY. 866-COUNTRY. Country is spelled
COUNTRY.
And I'm not attacking you. I'm just trying to understand you. You understand that?
That's all right. Because I honestly don't
questions.
think you've ever heard this before.
I've never heard this before, ever.
Well,
anything close to it. And so
maybe
I'm
it's good that you're hearing it then.
It is. Maybe it is. So just so I'm clear.
It's just a different perspective.
Just so I'm clear. When someone decides to join the military, put on the uniform, knowing full well they can be sent out to a foreign land and put in harm's way, you don't believe they deserve extra respect for that decision?
No.
So the idea of seeing...
What do you mean by extra respect?
Additional respect.
Like, in what way?
Well,
maybe I'm not understanding you.
Well, you can have degrees of respect for people. And I would say that if someone says to me, I'm going to join the military, even though it's very likely that I could be sent to Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, someplace very dangerous, I'm going to do that because I love my country. You don't.
So I'm going to say it the opposite way to you now.
Okay.
Do you not respect, say, Brian for what he does? Do you respect him less for what he does than you would a military person?
Well, it's not that I respect him less.
Well, you said there's degrees.
Yeah, there is degree. Okay, I guess you could say that. I would say that, I respect. You want to respect people right off the bat. You want to.
Why?
Well, I think you want to give people the benefit of the doubt that they're good, decent people.
Oh.
You don't agree with that?
No.
So you always think the worst about people?
No,
I've been burned by that too many times.
Well, I like to basically give the benefit of the doubt to people until they prove me wrong. But as far as degrees of respect, when you make I think it's heroic to join the military. I think it's a decision that is very unselfish and is something that's very commendable. And, look, we all have jobs, and we all try to play by the rules, and we all try to do our best. And that deserves respect in and of itself, like Brian. I respect Brian greatly. He's a hardworking guy. He strikes me as an honest fella, and I have respect for him.
But you're trying to say to me, I should show more respect for somebody in the military
Yes.
or somebody in uniform.
Well, somebody who premeditates a decision that I am going to take a job, even though I know that this job could mean the end of my life, but I'm going to do it because I love the country.
Yeah, my father-in-law is a truck driver. That's a very dangerous job. I guess I respect him the same amount as I would a police officer.
And not all people join for that reason, you know, and not everyone in that profession should get the extra respect, but a lot of people should.
So the notion, Bonnie, of seeing three guys in uniform eating at a cafe, buying their lunch for them, you'd never do that.
I don't see why. I mean,
Because
no.
they put themselves in harm's way. They leave their families, go to foreign
My
lands.
husband's gone half the year, Dan. He's gone from our family half the year. He'll be gone till he retires half of our life.
So you don't see a difference between
Do you have more respect for him?
So you don't see the difference between someone who works on the North Slope for good money compared to someone who joins the military knowing they could end up in a foreign land in harm's way? You don't see a
Honestly,
difference?
most military members make more than he does right now.
569-1080, 569-1080. One thing I'll say about you, you'll say anything. I do admire that about you.
I'm just honest.
Mary.
Hi, I'm calling to support Bonnie.
Okay.
And respect is two-way, and I used to work for the military, and there were people in uniform who were pretty bad. So what I do is I'll call them by their rank and not call them sir.
Well, Mary, I'm not saying every human being that joins the military is perfect. But what I'm saying is that the decision to join the military strikes me as a sacrificial one that is done because you love your country, one that is done out of patriotism, because there's so much sacrifice involved. You really lose your freedom. You know, Bonnie, with all due respect to your husband, he can quit tomorrow.
So can police officers.
And military personnel can't quit
Yes,
tomorrow.
they can.
They go to jail. You can't just quit. You
might get dishonorably discharged, but if you're doing something that you don't believe
can't
is
just
right,
go
you
AWOL.
can quit.
You can't just go AWOL.
I guess.
And some of them are joined because it's a job, not because they love their country.
All right.
I worked for the military for 15 years.
Well, let
I
me.
saw it.
Well, Mary, I appreciate that. Let me take some more calls here. 569-1080. Mark, you're on.
Yeah, I got to agree with Bonnie too, Dan. It's all about choice. You know, the draft is over. It's all about choice. They're choosing to be in the military. If they're choosing to get out there and put their life on the line, that is their choice. Police officers, firefighters, for the most part, are well-compensated professionals, and I do respect them.
So you don't think military personnel deserve extra respect?
No, they deserve respect. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, they do. They deserve respect. But I don't think that it's above and beyond because, once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but the draft is over.
Well, that's the whole point. It's a voluntary thing. I mean, if it was a draft, maybe that's a different situation. Justin, you're on.
Yeah, I think a big part of the issue that we're discussing here is what really do we mean by respect? Because I think people are deserving of the same amount of respect. I mean, everybody has their flaws. Everybody has their good points and bad points. But the thing is that I think what we're really talking about is gratitude. I mean, I have the same respect for a military person as I do for anybody else because they're a person with flaws and, and good points and bad. But I'm really grateful for the service that they provide because
Bonnie,
it does something for me.
Do you have extra gratitude in your heart for military personnel?
I would agree with Justin.
Oh, so
yes.
you do have more gratitude.
There is a difference. I guess that I needed the vocabulary there.
Okay.
Gratitude is definitely
But you
more
said you would never
what I
buy
have. That's why I got offended when I thought you were attacking my patriotism.
But you said you'd never buy 3 soldiers in a cafe lunch.
I wouldn't buy anybody lunch. I have to provide for my own family. I don't have the extra income. Maybe if I was a millionaire, I would do that, or if I had the extra disposable income to do that, yes, I would.
Thank you, Justin.
But I shouldn't be attacked because I don't.
Rosie.
I'm not saying you're attacking me, but yeah.
Hey, Dan, I totally support Bonnie,
My husband recently got out of the military after 12 years and has taken a job on the slope. And I will tell you that even as a military wife with numerous deployments and been all over the world, I too believe that the military does not deserve extra or special respect. It is a two-way street. They have chosen that, and they do have the opportunity to get out and choose to leave at any given time. And I think Bonnie hit the nail on the head, and I'm grateful that she would share this on the radio live for everyone to hear, because I think it's something that needs to be talked about. And unfortunately, I think a lot of the time we have this persona that there needs to be hero worship, and I hate to say that, but I think it's true. And we talk a lot, well, liberals kind of want special rights for gays, for, different things. Well, you know what? The Republicans on the other end also want special rights for their military, for their police officers, and it doesn't make it right on either end. And I think it's good that it's being discussed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rosie. Appreciate that. 569-1080, 569-1080. Let's go to Austin. Austin, you're on.
I just wanted to say I'm not really for or against anybody. I just want to throw my 2 cents out there. The whole buying lunch thing,
yeah,
it makes I'm actively serving right now.
Yes.
And I've been in for 10 years, and it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But I don't believe it's owed to me. And
yeah.
just like
no,
the
I know
previous
that.
lady, just like the previous lady just said, I mean,
yeah,
you can walk down the street and see 5 soldiers, and one of them might be a good soldier. And nowadays, because of the way the economy is, there are very bad soldiers in right now. But you don't know that, and neither does anybody else. And in my opinion, with Bonnie, do we deserve better respect? No, but I appreciate it when people feel that we do.
Sure.
It's not that I think it's owed to me. Nothing is owed to me. And a lot of people say, oh, they volunteered. They're such great people. No, we volunteered to get paid to do a job. Once we rose our hand and got that first red cent from Uncle Sam, we were no longer volunteers. We're no better than anybody else who works on the slope or is a cop or anything like that. Is it appreciated? Absolutely. Is it owed to me?
Well, let me ask you this.
Absolutely
When
not.
people come up to you and say thank you for your service, do you appreciate that?
That makes me feel the best about what I do when people do it.
Bonnie,
But
would
do
you
I
ever
feel
say
that
that?
I have
everybody
said
owes
it.
me
I
that?
say it all the time.
Okay.
But I don't feel that anybody who sees me walking down the
Yep.
street in my uniform or just knows that I am,
Right.
I don't feel that any one of them owes it to me. To
No, I
give
understand that, and I've never really met anybody in the military who had that entitlement mentality.
You know,
they're special.
I have said thank you for your service to military members. I also, on Thanksgiving Thursday, said it to the Walmart people who are working on Thursday on Thanksgiving. So, I mean, honestly.
Thank you, Austin.
Yep.
Thank you for your service. 569-1080, 569-1080. Let's go to Joe. Joe, you're on.
Thank you, Dan. Hello, Bonnie.
Hello.
I side with Bonnie on this one. It's been said many a time across many dinner tables. Son, join the military. It'll be good for you.
So you don't think it's a sacrifice?
It's both ways. It's also good for the person that joins. It helps their life, even though they are helping our country. Most of the time, military people don't actually go to war. If you add up the percentages of the people that have joined and actually go to war. But I do respect our service. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. Let me squeeze in Felix real quick. Felix.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Real quick.
All right. Hey, I just want to say, hey, I've been deployed 3 times since I've been in the military.
Yeah.
3 times. All right. So, hey, I don't know what they're talking about. That you come into the military for your own good. That you're making money and all this stuff. Hey, you really don't make all that good money. Hey,
You know what, Felix? Hold on. We'll get you on the other side. 829.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
Local news brought to you by Jansen Funeral Homes, Jansen's Evergreen Memorial Chapel, Jansen's Alaska Cremation Center, and Jansen's Eagle River Funeral Home. Jansen Funeral Homes, where just like family, they're there when you need them.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. A school in the Inupiat Eskimo village of Parkland was closed for about 4 hours after a man allegedly called the school and said he wanted to shoot the students he believed were bullying his 4-year-old daughter. 34-year-old Fred Armstrong was jailed pending an arraignment. A new report raises concerns about the number of Alaska Native children in foster care. That story from Ann Tender.
The report from the Institute of Social and Economic Research at the University of Alaska Anchorage has confirmed other reports that have found for many years that Alaska has a high foster care rate in general, and an especially high rate among Alaska Native children. 3 out of 100 Alaska Native children live in foster care in the state, and it rises to 6 out of 100 in Anchorage.
Find a Kid Scientist will help the Audubon Society this weekend during the 5th Christmas bird count for kids. That's your Hot Talk News update.
Today will be partly sunny with a high 26, then a partly cloudy night, low of 18. Clouds increasing tomorrow, high 26, then a partly cloudy night tomorrow night with a low 21. The temperatures will rise through the 20s overnight. And for Sunday, it will be mostly cloudy. Chance for a bit of snow or flurries, a high 34. Rather a cloudy Monday with a high 34. Hot Talk, breaking news and the latest weather. KOAN, 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Happy holidays from your family at Worthington Ford. We wish you and yours all of the health and happiness in the world. Please be safe this holiday season, like Grandpa always said.
Hey, if you drive, don't drink. If you drink, don't drive. We love you.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
When it comes to oral hygiene, kids should have more than just a toothbrush. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's chief medical correspondent. Even though most parents make sure their kids brush after treats, oral health is much more than just brushing. Children can have bad breath. That's because a lot of the food they eat gets stuck in their teeth, holds on to bacteria that can cause a smelly breath. So how can you keep your little one's mouth clean and fresh? Well, oral health experts say children 12 and older can benefit from an oral wash. The wash destroys those bacteria in the mouth where a toothbrush can't always go. Flossing works. Ask your dentist to teach your child the proper way to floss. By flossing, bacteria is removed from around the gum line. And stay away from the gooey goodies. As we mentioned before, some foods, especially candies and sweets, will stick to the teeth. That can lead to decay and also bacteria buildup. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
That's the sound of people throwing out their old dehumidifiers. They've replaced them with the computerized wave ventilation unit. Wave ventilation expels moisture, gases, and toxins that are trapped in your basement or crawl space and replaces it with drier, fresher air. Wave ventilation requires no maintenance. There are no buckets to empty or filters to change. And compared to a dehumidifier, it will save you hundreds of dollars each year in energy costs.
I recently installed a unit and was stunned by the difference. I had a dehumidifier for almost 20 years without ever getting rid of that musty smell. Now, the smell is finally gone.
Say goodbye to your dehumidifier and get a wave unit for your home.
For free information, go to dryhousenow.com or call 888-964-WAVE. Satisfaction guaranteed. Just go to dryhousenow.com or call 888-964-WAVE.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian. A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can go your own way.
We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist for Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
All right, welcome back. 8:35. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. Glen's off today. This is what you call a shellacking. I'm getting my butt kicked here. Bonnie Cameron has presented an idea today that I thought, oh, don't say that out loud.
It kind of evolved, actually.
Well, when you first said it, I thought, oh my goodness, people are going to be furious about that. Don't say that out loud. And we get like a gazillion calls here, and every one of them agrees with you. And I won't characterize your opinion. I'll let you do it.
Well, it started out with me saying that...
Well, I asked you initially,
yeah.
Do you believe that men and women who sign up and volunteer to serve in the military deserve additional respect from regular folks just because they agree to put themselves in harm's way and give up many of their freedoms as a result of it?
And I said no, because I give everybody the same amount of respect no matter what they do. And that's just... and I honestly have to say that my feelings on that have evolved in the last few years, because I feel like I started thinking logically about it, that truckers put their lives on the line. My brother, who ran an engine, he doesn't like it when I say drives a train, but jobs are anything you go out and do involves
we all
risk.
face dangers in life.
Now you're talking hero status. I don't know. I don't place hero status on
the military.
Well, the same amount of respect is due to everybody. Like I said, my husband has been in law enforcement. He has carried a weapon.
But we're not talking about law enforcement. I'm talking about the regular individual who goes to work. Yes, they deserve respect for going and getting a job.
But like Justin said, there's a difference between respect and gratitude. And I do have more gratitude for the people who leave their families and go out and might get limbs blown off or killed.
You don't just... I'm taking your calls here in a second. 569-1080. 569-1080. You don't just, as a general principle, have more respect for people who join the military when you consider all that's involved in that decision, giving up a freedom, signing up for a certain period of time, agreeing to be shipped anywhere in the world without getting a choice, putting yourselves in harm's way, having to submit to your commanding officer. I mean, you don't respect that?
No, not any more than anybody else.
569-1080. 569-1080. Oh, we lost Felix. Oops. That's me. Sorry. 569-1080. I know people are trying to call in. I'm preempting Brian there. 569-1080.
Well, like I said before, it's... And I thought what Justin said was good. He kind of gave me the vocabulary I needed for that. Gratitude is different than respect.
You have gratitude for people who join the military, but you don't give them more respect for making that sacrificial decision.
Not any more than my husband, who goes for half the year for the rest of his working life up on the slope.
But he chooses to do that.
That's right. So does military people. I know you don't think they do, but they do.
Military people... You're telling me that you're equating the decision to go work on the North Slope as joining the military? When you join the military, you lose your freedom. You got to go through boot camp. You go through literally some of the most difficult things in the world. You're shipped places where you don't want to go. You sit on tours 2, 3, 4 times, And your husband could just quit any time at the North Slope. And I ain't talking about your husband. You keep bringing your husband up. But
Well,
I mean,
that's the closest thing I know.
We can talk about anybody.
Right.
You don't think someone who joins the military deserves extra respect?
Not respect. No, I am thankful to them
Does
for
the
doing that.
decision of joining the military deserve respect?
No, not in my eyes. I don't have more respect for them. You're just asking my opinion.
569
No, that's
1080.
just my opinion.
569-1080. Felix.
Yes.
You're on.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, I got disconnected earlier when they were talking about the fact that we joined the military just to get paid. You know, as a private joining the military, you don't make all that much money.
Right.
I made $600 every 2 weeks. Some guy at McDonald's is making more than that.
Yes.
You know, and it's just sad to hear these people on the air talking about
Well, now
about that they don't have the equal amount of, they do have the equal amount of respect for some guy that works on the slopes than some guy who may potentially have his life, you know, in danger.
I know people who have died up on the slope.
Accidents happen. I'm talking about like somebody intentionally trying to kill you.
Now, I have to say, I do not think that military members are paid enough, especially when they're first starting out and they're sent overseas a lot.
I took a pay cut when I joined the Army. I took maybe $2,500 pay cut. I had to move my family and my kids from the house we're living in to a smaller apartment just to make ends meet.
What was your reasoning for that? Why would you do that?
Sacrifice. My whole family was in the military.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, sacrifice. That's what it is.
Well, thank you for your service. And I don't think that people in the military are paid enough, especially when we have government welfare and all these other entitlement programs, and then our military people are not being paid.
You don't think Felix deserves extra respect for taking a pay cut, joining the military to serve his country?
I don't have more respect for that just because he decided to do that. No, I'm saying thank you to him, and I have more gratitude. But I do not have more or less. And then I'm going to ask you again: Do you respect somebody less because of what they choose to do? So it goes both ways.
Well, you know, the less component is, you know, look.
No, it's the same thing. You're just saying the opposite.
But it's not a derogatory thing. I'm not looking down at anybody because they don't join the military.
But I'm not looking at them more respectfully because they do.
You don't think it involves a great sacrifice?
I think that a lot of jobs involve sacrifice.
And you don't think joining the military takes away a good portion of your freedom that most jobs don't?
I don't know. I've never been in the military.
You don't know? Now, Bonnie.
No.
You understand how it works when you join the military. You don't get to choose where you're going to live.
They do choose that choice, though. That's something that they're choosing to do.
I don't know who you've been talking to, but you don't choose where you get to go.
No, you're choosing to go in the military. You're choosing that path for your family. You chose that. And thank you for doing that. If we didn't have our military, we wouldn't have defense.
Okay.
Thank you for your service, Felix.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right. 569-1080. Lake, you're on.
Hi, I just called saying I wanted to say I respect everyone, but I have extra respect for people in the military. Because when I go to work, it's not about war, it's about just getting my job done. When they go to work, that's constantly on their mind. So, I don't know, I think I have extra respect for them, and when I see them at work, I work a little bit faster for them.
Thank you, Lake.
And that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Appreciate that. 569-1080. 569-1080. Let's go to John.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm a Vietnam veteran.
Yes, sir.
I did 5 tours in NAM.
Yes, sir.
And I agree with Bonnie. When you join the military, you know everything that's going to happen before you join. Okay? And now when I listen to Felix, he basically said he did it because everybody in his family was in the...
Hold on, John. We got to take a break here. Stay with us, though. 844.
Fagan and Biegel. Give him a call. 569-1080. KOAN.
After shopping for the slave over a hot stove, well, don't worry about it. Relief from this hectic time of year is just a jingle away. Call 333-8000 and ring in the holidays with the Sicily Season Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. So relax and let Sicily's deliver hot, fresh, delicious pizza, pasta, calzones, wings, and salads right to your door. It's fast, easy, and affordable. Call 333-8000 and ask for the Season's Greeting Special. 2 large 2-topping pizzas for only $11.99 each. For the only 24-hour-a-day delivery in Alaska, call 333-8000 or save 20% by ordering online at SicilysPizza.com. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's. Wishing you and yours a safe and happy holiday season.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company. Sellers, if you are going to sell your home, now may very well be the best time. The current interest rates are still very low in comparison to previous loan rates. Now is the time to take advantage of this uncommon phenomenon. We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis at your convenience. Call Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's 244-0821.
Are you unsure about how to use the health insurance marketplace at healthcare.gov? I was, until I went to a free educational session presented by a United Way navigator. I got questions about the Affordable Care Act answered, learned about options for coverage, how to use the online marketplace, and got assistance with enrollment. Now I'm signed up for the healthcare coverage I need. To hear more about these free sessions, call 211 or 1-800-478-2221.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com.
847, Dan Fagan, Glen, Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. I don't know anything. I honestly don't understand anything.
That's why you need me here for a different perspective.
I thought when I heard you say that you believe when men and women join the military, they do not deserve extra respect, I thought we were going to get 1,000 calls, people cursing you.
Well, we might still.
I was right. We got 1,000 calls, but most of them, all but one, supported you. Now, Brian, am I off here? Please?
Yeah, I was backing her up too at the beginning, and I kind of thought that would happen. And I was surprised that many people called.
You thought that everybody else would back her up on that?
I did.
That the military, the people who decide to join the military with this intense sacrifices associated with it to serve their country do not deserve extra respect than the rest of us.
Some of them certainly do, but they don't all enter for that reason.
So some of them do?
Yeah, certainly.
The body says none of them do.
I think some people in any profession do. Some people in any profession.
So
not all people in it.
Maybe I'm not hearing your 569-1080, 569-1080. So you're saying that some of them do deserve extra respect?
No, I don't think they deserve.
None of them do.
Deserve.
Some of them do. None of them do.
Define extra respect.
Additional respect, more than the average person. Here's the average person. You respect them, the average person, the way you respect most people. So here someone steps up and says, I'm going to join the military. Well, that decision will garner from me additional, extra respect.
To me, it's equal.
You disagree that deserves extra respect?
I'm going to say again, I think that what Justin said with regards to gratitude is exactly right. I feel more gratitude. These are just feelings. Respect to me is something that...
But that decision...
I have respect for my parents. I respect my parents.
But that decision in and of itself doesn't cause you to respect someone because they're joining the military?
No, I don't respect them more. I don't give them additional respect. Gratitude, yes.
Do you think it's an honorable thing to join the military?
Yes, I think it's an honorable thing to get up and go and do any kind of work.
569-1080, 569-1080. Let's go to Ramona.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I was calling in to say that I'm with Bonnie, and that I'm the spouse of a 22-year veteran with the Air Force. And the people that I appreciate especially in war times, the young people that are joining the military. I have a couple of children now, or young adults, I guess, 20 years old, who are thinking of going into the service. But I appreciate equally the spouses. As a spouse of a military,
Yes.
I appreciate the ones who are left. You know, they go off and do their thing, and
Well,
yeah,
sure.
some of them are in harm's way, but it's the spouses who get left behind.
Well, it's a decision.
Right.
Ramona, it's a decision the family makes. So
Right.
they all deserve extra
But do you
additional respect.
Do you see the vocabulary she's using, though? She's saying appreciate. That's a different thing than respect to me.
And truthfully, it makes my husband, you know, he was not in the Air Force during, you know, he was in during Desert Storm, but he never went over and actively fought. And with the Air Force, they're kind of back and sending in their jets, and it's the pilots who are actually put in harm's way for the most part. But he is uncomfortable when someone comes up and says, I appreciate your service. Now, that's just him. It makes him feel uncomfortable because he's like, I would just went in and served my time. And he personally, you know, some people I'm sure do, you know, appreciate that. But
Right.
That's very humble of him, by the way.
Yeah, he's a man of humility, clearly.
Right, but I don't think that I respect people for, and you know, there are heroes, there are people who go in and throw themselves in front of their buddies and they lose their life. I respect that, but not all, you know, they're in there knowing what they're signing up for right now. So
Thank
but
you.
I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate the sacrifice you make.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ramona. Appreciate that. 569-1080, 569-1080. Ken, you're on.
Hey, how you guys doing this morning?
Well.
Great.
Okay, the military thing. Real quick, I've got 3 different ones to talk about. One was my grandfather served in World War II. My other grandfather did not serve in World War II. He was in the railroad and was not allowed to serve. Do I respect one of them more than the other? No. My brother was in the Navy. He's retired now. He's got a substance abuse problem. And he was in the President's Navy band, and he went into that, you know, to make a paycheck. He didn't go into it he didn't want to go serve overseas. He had his own different reasons for serving because to him it was easier to get into that than to get into some orchestra somewhere else. So that's my story. And I don't think he deserves more respect than some other person for making that decision.
If you've got a 21-year-old guy who is deciding, okay, do I want to go work private sector job, make a decent living, or do I want to go serve my country in the military? I know that my joining the military will not provide me with the freedom I would have working in the private sector. It would not provide me the financial benefits that would working in the private sector. And my family will pay a heavy price for me joining the military because I'll be deployed. But I'm going to do that anyway because I love my country. That decision, in your mind, is not deserving of additional respect.
I respect them for making that decision. I appreciate their service. But I don't respect them more than I respect my parents or than I respect the people that I work
that's not
with.
the question. That's not the question. I'm not asking you to compare this guy to anybody else.
Well, you're asking me to give
by
him more
saying
respect.
extra.
I'm asking you.
I mean, if
I'm
you're saying
asking
more
you.
respect, that's automatically a comparison.
That is a comparison.
I'm asking you that without comparing him to anybody else, is it more respect?
Well, I mean, if he stands alone, you know, I mean, what's the reference point?
Right.
Well, the reference point is that he made a decision to sacrifice greatly for his country. To me, that deserves additional respect.
Well, I don't know that necessarily everybody going into the military is making a decision to sacrifice for his country.
Well,
I mean, I have friends that served and they went strictly because they could get a college degree by going to the military.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they went.
But I'm talking hypothetically here. This guy, these are his options. Work in the private sector, have a much more lucrative life, have more freedom, better life for his family, or join the military because he loves his country and he feels like it needs protected and he wants to defend it, and he will do it at great sacrifice. He does not deserve additional respect for making the military choice.
He deserves my appreciation. Respect, I think, is a different thing. I respect you. I respect Bonnie. I respect someone in the military. I respect firefighters. I respect policemen. I respect our, mayor.
So one decision over another doesn't deserve more respect.
Maybe more appreciation.
Okay.
But respect, respect is something that's different from appreciation.
Well, thank you, John.
Okay.
I appreciate it. I to me, respect's the perfect word. I'm going to respect the guy who's going to pay that kind of price for his country. And I'm not putting anybody else down. I'm not saying that everybody else, if you don't make that decision, that I respect you less. But if you do make that decision, I will respect you more.
Well, let me ask you a question. Would you respect somebody who is going to be deployed over there more than you would respect the person who's sitting at the desk job still working in the military?
Well, that's not their choice.
Well, maybe it is by what they choose to do in the military.
Well, yeah, if someone has a choice in saying I can either sit at a desk job in the Pentagon or I can be deployed in Afghanistan where there are landmines every 10 miles and they choose to go work where the landmines are, yes, that would garner extra respect from me. Would it not you?
I know you hate it when I keep going back to my husband, but he does choose also to go up to the slope.
Where there are landmines?
I know people
And
get
snipers?
their fingers cut off all the time up there.
So you think the
And
North Slopes
he
is
deals with
dangerous as
acid.
Afghanistan?
I mean, that's not what I'm saying. I just don't think it deserves extra respect. Respect in my eyes is across the board. I respect people. I respect people who choose to school their children at home just as much as I respect somebody in the military. I do.
I'm not calling you for to stop respecting people. But you don't think there are decisions that people can make that would give you extra? Do you like someone who homeschools?
Mhm.
That's a sacrifice, a huge sacrifice. If a mother says to herself, I'm going to homeschool children, even though I'd rather go out and get a job, I'd rather let the public schools take care of it for me, does she deserve extra respect for that decision?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's it. We're done. That's the show for the week. Glenn will be back on Monday. We'll all be back on Monday. Hope you have a great weekend, folks. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie, we're here every Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. on KOAN, KVNT, also streaming live, audio and video, danfagan.us. Have a great weekend. See you Monday.